Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. As the festive period is well underway in the Premier League, we see Wolves take on Burnley at Molineux on this Tuesday night fixture. The home side under Gary O'Neill currently sitting 13th with 4 wins from their opening 14 games in the league. From their home form so far, it has been very equal with 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats which have come to Brighton and Liverpool in August and September. Burnley travelled to Wolves after picking up a vital 3 points at home to Sheffield United on Saturday as they thumped the fellow promoted side by 5-0. It ended a run of 9 home defeats in a row in the Premier League, which dates all the way back to the 2021-2022 season. This is only the 11th fixture between these two in the Premier League, with Wolves winning it 3 times and Burnley 4, with one of them coming away from home at Molineux back in April 2021, where Burnley under Sean Dyche won that game 4-0 with a Chris Wood hat-trick in the first half. So, for a game where both need points to boost themselves up the table, will Wolves pick up a second victory in 6 games, or can Burnley pick up back-to-back wins in the Premier League for the first time since April 2022? A win for Burnley would also put them out of the relegation zone, depending on the result that happens in the other game tonight at Kenilworth Road, where Luton take on Arsenal at 8:15. But as long as Burnley do their job, it could see them out of the relegation zone. It'd also put them in double figures for points as well. It put them on to 10 points, where they've already picked up 2 wins, and the first one was away from home back on the 3rd of October against Luton, their only away win this season. And obviously in their last game at the weekend, a 5-0 win, 5 different goal scorers from Jay Rodriguez, Bruin Larson, Amdouni, Koleosho and Brownhill as well. And that first goal was the quickest of the season, with a 15-second goal from Jay Rodriguez, who is starting once again for Burnley, 34 years of age now. Jay Rodriguez. But we'll have to see which Burnley turn up. It was highlighted in their last game that they did decide to go a little bit more direct. Burnley, they've been playing a lot of short passing stuff out from the back and not quite having the quality to beat some of the presses from the higher quality teams in this division. But on Saturday, they went a little bit more direct, a bit longer in their play, a bit old school Burnley, and it worked. And it's sometimes that's what you've got to do in this league to survive. You've got to just be a little bit old school and a little bit ugly, but it works. And Burnley need the points at the minute, and Vincent Kompany has accepted the fact that he does need to adapt to keep Burnley in this division. But the kickoff is just under 7 minutes away here at Molineux, where Wolves under Gary O'Neill currently sit in 13th spot, where obviously they've been in a lot of controversy already this season with officials and refereeing decisions, and it seems like every single refereeing decision goes against them, Gary O'Neill. But it has not deterred his team of picking up points elsewhere. Like I say, they've picked up some big wins at home. The 2 they've picked up were against Manchester City and Spurs. So at Molineux, against the big teams, they usually know how to get about picking up the 3 points. Against the lesser teams is where they've struggled, but then they've also lost against Brighton and Liverpool. So based off that, they have had very difficult home fixtures to start the campaign, Wolves and Gary O'Neill. We'll go through the teams in a little bit more detail in a moment. So we'll go through both teams now as we edge closer to kick off here at Molineux. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. We are also commentating on 3 other games this week in the Premier League. Tomorrow we're covering Aston Villa against Manchester City. On Thursday we are covering Everton at home to Newcastle. And then at the weekend on the Sunday, we're also covering Newcastle again, but when they're away to Tottenham Hotspur. So some big games in the Premier League this week. Obviously got the midweek games as well, which is absolutely fantastic during these cold December nights, staying in and watching the football in the Premier League. But we'll go through both teams now, as you can see them both on screen. But we will start with Wolves, the home side, and their backup keeper David Bentley starts it in goal as Jose Sarr was brought off injured in their 2-1 defeat at the weekend against Arsenal. A back three with captain Max Kilman on the right, Totti Gomez on the left, and playing in the central centre-back position is Craig Dawson, who has got 2 goals previously against Burnley back in September of 2014 and May of 2017. 2 wing-backs of Nelson Semedo on the right and Hugo Bueno on the left, with 2 midfielders coming back in today after both of them missed the game against Arsenal due to yellow card suspensions. That is Mario Lamina, the number 5, and João Gomez, the number 8, both returning for Wolves tonight, straight back into the midfield. And then a front 3 on the right. It's going to be Pablo Sarabia making his 3rd start of the season. He got a goal and an assist against Tottenham in that 2-1 win at home. He scored the fantastic equaliser and set up the Lamina winner. On the left is going to be Hwang Hee-chan. He's had a fantastic season so far in the Premier League. He's got a goal in every 2 games, 7 in 14, but he's only got 1 in his last 4 games, and that came away in their defeat to Fulham. And leading the line up front is number 12, Matheus Cunha, who's got 4 goals himself in the Premier League, 2 in his last 2 against Fulham and Arsenal. That is the Wolves starting 11 tonight at Molineux, and for the away side they have made 1 change from their winning side against Sheffield United. It's the same goalkeeper as usual, James Trafford, who kept his first clean sheet in the Premier League at the weekend. Right back is the only ever Brazilian to play for Burnley, that is Vitinho. On the left is Charlie Taylor, and the 2 centre-halves, one Dara O'Shea, who was brought in the summer from West Bromwich Albion for £7 million, and 18 Hamal Ekdal starts at centre-back, replacing Jordan Bayer, the German centre-half, who was out tonight for Burnley due to picking up 5 yellow cards already this season. 2 central midfielders, one of them is going to be a new signing in the summer, £12 million from Sheffield United, Sander Berger. He's featured in every game in all competitions so far this season for Burnley, and alongside him is tonight's captain for Burnley, Josh Brownhill, who's making his 147th appearance for the club, closing in on that 150 mark. The 2 wingers on the right is going to be Jacob Bruun Larsen, who got his 2nd goal of the season for Burnley at the weekend, and both of his goals have come in there. 2 victories, 1 away at Luton and then 1 at home to Sheffield United, both against the other 2 promoted sides. On the left is going to be Italian Luca Coglioscio, who was signed from £2.5 million from Espanyol in the summer. He's only 19 years of age, the Italian under-21 international. And the 2 up front is going to be number 9, Jay Rodriguez, as I mentioned before, 34 years of age, looking for his 75th Burnley goal as he starts his 5th game in the Premier League this season, and he'll play alongside Zeki Amdouni, who was one of the bigger signings in the summer for Burnley. €18 million from Basel. He's only got 2 goals so far this season in the Premier League, one of them in their 5-0 win at the weekend against Sheffield United, and the Swiss international is at the age of 23. He's got a contract here at Burnley till 2028, so he'll be sticking around at Turf Moor for a while, Amdouni, and he does look like a great talent when he's played this season in the Premier League. They are the 2 starting 11s, as we've got both sets of players on the pitch shaking hands with one another as we are closing in on kickoff. Like I say, big night for David Bentley and David Bentley, that's the old Spurs player. Daniel Bentley, the goalkeeper, who's formerly of Arsenal in his youth days. He was released back in 2008, and he actually started his career in his youth career as a centre half, the goalkeeper. But he is now obviously a goalkeeper and not a centre half, making his first start in the Premier League this season. Did come on against Arsenal and played 67 minutes. Didn't concede a goal at Arsenal whilst he was on the pitch. The 2 goals were conceded early in the 6th and the 13th minute when Jose Sarr was on the pitch. So he didn't actually concede a goal, and he's having to start today due to Jose Sarr not being able to recover in time for this fixture. So it's a big night for the goalkeeper. Both teams will fancy themselves to win this game. Burnley coming into this game with the highest of confidence, with their first home win of the season. They had lost their first 7 home games of the season before beating Sheffield United. They became the first team ever in the Premier League to lose their first 6 games. And of course, they've kind of extended that unwanted record of becoming the first ever team to lose their first 6 and 7 games. Thankfully, they stopped the rot of losing at home and got the win at the weekend. But including their last season in the Premier League back in 2022, they'd gone 9 games in a row at home, losing in the Premier League at Turf Moor. Hopefully, for their own sake and for their survival hopes, that Burnley can kind of turn a corner with their home form. Their away form hasn't been much better either. Obviously beating Luton back in early October, picking up a point in mid-September at Forest, but then losing their other 4 away games against Newcastle, Brentford, Bournemouth and Arsenal. 3 different scores they've lost by as well. They've lost 2-0, 2-1, 3-0 and 3-1. Only scoring 5 goals away from home so far this season. Obviously they scored 5 at home in their last game. So they have shown, obviously against a very poor Sheffield United team, that they can score the goals, Burnley, but they've got to replicate it week in, week out and come to places like Wolves, who are decent at home, beating big teams under Gary O'Neill. They need to come to these places and try and stamp their authority on the league and come to Wolves and get a point, get 3 points if possible, and try and build on their total points, trying to push them closer out of the relegation zone. A win would put them out of the bottom 3 for Burnley if the Luton also lose their game later on tonight against Arsenal at home. As we're about to get underway, Wolves kicking us off, kicking right to left. Burnley left to right here at Molineux. As it is Max Kilman on the ball, the captain for Wolves, back on the edge of the 18-yard box with Craig Dawson. Goes out to his left to Gomez. Furthest left is Bueno, who goes down the line, finds Sarabia, tries to flick it over the head there of Dara O'Shea, deflects off the Irish centre-half's face, and out for a throw in here for Wolves on this near side in a left-back position, with Totti Gomez receiving the ball back from Gomez. That's João Gomez. We've got 2 Gomez for Wolves on the field tonight. That's Kilman in the 18-yard box, which is out to the right to Nelson Semedo. He's got an option down the line. He'll play it to Cunha. Takes it on the turn away from Charlie Taylor, met by a strong challenge from the Burnley left-back. And it'll be a throw-in. Still inside the Wolves half, but this time on the far side. Just under a minute in. Semedo at right wing-back. Loses it. Ooh, I thought that was a bit of a soft one there, really, from the referee, giving that. Koleosho on Semedo, just pulling him down to concede the free kick. But I thought it was a little bit soft, the contact there on Nelson Semedo. Went down a little bit easily, but the referee tonight, Jared Gillett, gave the free kick in Wolves' favour as Lamina loses out in midfield here. Brune Larsen for Burnley driving forward, playing on the inside towards Amdouni. Tackled by Dawson. Loose ball drops to Brownhill. Koleosho tried cutting onto his right foot there, but tackled strongly by Kilman, who will dribble away with the ball from centre-half and being brought down from behind there by Captain Brownhill. And it'll be an early booking for Burnley's captain tonight. Good centre-half play there from Max Kilman, dribbling the ball out with confidence. And as he got beyond Brownhill, he tried to recover by tackling with a slide challenge from behind, but couldn't get any of the ball, and it only gave Jared Gillett one option, and that was to bring out the yellow card. So it just means Josh Brownhill has to be careful now. Scorer of Burnley's 5th goal at the weekend, and it was an absolute cracker from the edge of the box, arrowed in towards the top right corner. And from that free kick, Wolves had the ball on halfway, with Sarabia just dropping deep from a left wing position, going back to Craig Dawson, who'll switch out to the right side. It's a lofted ball towards Nelson Semedo, who just keep it in with the header. Down the line, cut out by Charlie Taylor. Drops back to Kilman in the Wolves half. Misplaced pass. 1-2 between Koleosho and Amdouni. And that'll be a free kick for Burnley midway side the Wolves half. And Burnley are asking for a yellow card. And the referee doesn't give one to Mario Lamina. As Mario Lamina comes back into the starting 11 today after missing the Arsenal game through a yellow card suspension. The Gabon international midfielder. But poor play from Max Kilman, went from doing some fantastic dribbling out of his defence to then giving a sloppy pass away. And it was a decent 1-2 there between Koleosho and Amdouni for Burnley. And it's a free kick for Burnley. On the far side, I think it's Brune Larsen and Brownhill stood over it. Wolves have got their defensive line set out just in front of the 18-yard box. As it will be a crossing from Brune Larsen. Headed away towards the near post by Bueno. Headed out to the left here to Larson. Down the line, cut out by Hwang Hee-chan, who can't quite take on the Burnley winger, and that'll be a throw-in for Wolves midway side their own half on the far side, where Nelson Semedo will slowly jog over to take for Wolves, the former Barcelona fullback. Nelson Semedo, now at the age of 30, which I was quite shocked when researching about him. I thought he was a little bit younger than that, as a long ball up towards Hwang Hee-chan is lost out there for Wolves, and it's a ball down the left looking for Koleosho, just can't quite get around Nelson Semedo, and the ball just trickles away for a goal kick as it's met by a round of applause by Vincent Kompany. Decent pass that, to be fair, in behind down the left channel, but Nelson Semedo is pretty quick, and so is Luca Koleosho, so we should have some good battles there on the Burnley left and the Wolves defensive right as they play out from the back here, the home sides, with Max Kilman into Nelson Semedo. First time clearance blocked by Koleosho, but drops back to Semedo. He goes backwards with the pass to Kilman, has to clear it first time, but it's a wayward clearance, out for a throw-in for Burnley, deep in the Wolves half. It's been a good start from the away side, pressing well, passing quickly, looking to get it out wide, cause some danger down the flanks. As Brownhill gets it back to Charlie Taylor, the throw-in taker, and back he goes to the halfway line here to Ekdal. It's now with Dara O'Shea. Out to the right to Vitinho, midway side his own half. Goes down the line looking for Brun Larsen, bit of a misplaced pass. Goes out on halfway for Totti Gomez to restart for Wolves. And it's all the way back in their 18-yard box here with Daniel Bentley, who did play Burnley last season at Turf Moor. When he was at Bristol, the club he left in January to join Wolves and lost 2-1. So he has experience playing this Burnley side under Vincent Kompany, as Wolves have possession of the ball in their back line with Craig Dawson. Out to the right here to number 23, Max Kilman, who had interest from Napoli in the summer but opted to stay at Wolves and signed a new 5-year contract this summer. Hwang Hee-chan on the right-hand side, tackled there by Koleosho, throwing for Wolves. Last touch came off the Italian winger. It's now back in the Wolves half with number 15, Craig Dawson. Started every single Premier League game that he's featured in this season for Wolves, as he has possession here in the 18-yard box. Burnley pressing high. Bentley plays a pass out to left centre half. Totti Gomez just getting it away from Brun Larsen. Ball forward by Totti Gomez, cut out by Sander Berger, and it's Burnley back in possession. That was intercepted on halfway, and they've got it back with their goalkeeper Trafford. In the right back area, here's Dara O'Shea. He's got a body down the line to aim for, and he'll put a high one down the channel, but it's cut out by Totti Gomez. Drops midway inside the Burnley half to Amdouni, and it's now the away side back in possession with Ekdal at left centre half. It's now left back Charlie Taylor into the Wolves half with the pass to Koleosho. Back into Brownhill. Sander Berger in the centre circle. Plays it forward towards Jay Rodriguez. It's a loose ball, cut out by Totti Gomez. Forward towards Hwang Hee-chan. Kept away from Sander Berger into the pass of Lamina. And it's Wolves again in possession. We've not had a big chance yet. No shots on goal. No trouble for any of the goalkeepers at either end of the field. Midway side their own half for Wolves is Totti Gomez. Goes back to Craig Dawson, who scored on his Wolves debut in a victory last season against Liverpool, joined in January of this year from West Ham, where he reached the Europa League semi-finals the season before. Still in the Wolves half, playing with the left wing back Hugo Bueno. Goes back in towards Gomez, who clears it first time. It's a high one up the pitch, looking for Hwang Hee-chan. Loses out to Ekdal, but his tackle drops here to Cunha. Out to the left now to Sarabia, holding the ball up here. And tackled by O'Shea, but the ball drops to Bueno, who's out-muscled there by Jay Rodriguez, who is fouled there. Or has that gone for a throw-in? Not too sure, but it was good striker play there from Rodriguez to get his body in front of Bueno and invite the tackle, and I think he's invited the foul as well. I think it will be a free kick here for Burnley on the near side. Halfway line, right in front of the two technical areas, as the two youngest managers / head coaches come face to face tonight. Gary O'Neill at the age of 40 and Vincent Kompany only 37. Let's have a look here on the halfway line. Bueno just losing out to Rodriguez. Lifted ball to the edge of the box, headed away by Craig Dawson. Drops to Brownhill. Out to the right to Vitinho. He's getting forward from full-back. Tackled from behind by Sarabia. Thrown in the final third here for Burnley on the near side. We have their Brazilian Vitinho over it. Throws it into Brun Larsen. Gets the return. Vitinho driving inside into the 18-yard box. Tackled by Lamina. And the ball is volleyed away by Bueno. Comes off Brun Larsen. And then seen out for a goal kick there by the young Spanish wing-back. And it'll be a goal kick for Wolves. Again, no chances yet. Bit of a quiet opening 10 minutes. Both teams have had chances to have possession of the ball, kind of get into the game a little bit, but no chances on the goals as of yet. As Wolves play out from the back with Kilman. Forward to Lamina. Helps it on down the right-hand side here, and Wolves try and break away from their own half, but they've been forced backwards to the edge of the 18-yard box to keep the ball with Totti Gomez. Forward into the path of Sarabia, who just dropped a little bit deeper on the Wolves' left. Goes inside to Bueno. He dribbles away from Brun Larsen. Lays it off here into Cunha on halfway, who likes to receive the ball deep, the Brazilian. Doesn't like to be too isolated up front. If he's not getting enough touches on the ball, he will come deep to receive it. It's now worked out to the right. Nelson Semedo down the line. Deflects away from Hwang Hee-chan. And eventually it drops in the end here to Koleosho. Bursting beyond the halfway line for Burnley. Down the left-hand side. Furthest left here is Amdouni, who's got Kilman for company, the Wolves centre-half. Plays it short to Koleosho. In the final third, forward from full-back. Taylor, first time cross at the near post. Cleared away by Dawson ahead of Rodriguez. Ball drops to the right-hand side here to Semedo. Here's Cunha again, dropping deep for that ball. And they play it out wide to the left to Bueno. Charging down the full-back area, down the left, into the Burnley half. He's being followed here by Brun Larsen, but he keeps galloping forward here and then tackled with the slide challenge from Vitinho. Ball drops in the 18-yard box for Burnley with Ekdal, who goes back to his goalkeeper, who clears first time. It's a high looping one in the centre circle, brought down and played out to the left by Dawson to Totti Gomez. Forward 15 yards to Bueno, and then gets the return here, the Wolves number 24. Made his Portuguese debut, Totti Gomez, in November for Portugal. Played a full 90 minutes against Liechtenstein. Halfway line is Lamina. All Burnley players currently behind the ball. Sitting back when they're out of possession, the away side. Not wanting to leave too many gaps for Wolves to exploit, as the Bueno ball forward to Sarabia down the left has been won back for Burnley by Dara O'Shea. And it's now back with number 1, James Trafford, who obviously left Manchester City in the summer. £19 million after a season last year, which was a really positive one for Trafford. Was named in League One Team of the Year and won the Under-21 Euros, saving that last-minute penalty to give the victory for England. As Burnley have lost it on the left-hand side there. They had just about entered into the Wolves half, but couldn't quite keep the ball. And it's now with left centre-half Totti Gomez for Wolves. On halfway, forward and out to the left to Bueno. Back here into number 21, Pablo Sarabia, who spent 4 years at PSG before leaving in January of this year. For Wolves, there's a diagonal ball out to the right. It's been cut out by the head of Charlie Taylor. And there'll be a throw in here for Wolves. Still no attempts, if I can recall correctly. This has been an interesting game, to say the least. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Check the channel for the future commentaries coming up this week. As it is João Gomez on halfway. Now Lamina trying to drive forward here for Wolves. Got option to his left, and he finds Totti Gomez here. And the furthest left is Bueno, midway side the Burnley half. Not got many options forward, so ends up going backwards here to Gomez. And then halfway line's Craig Dawson. Out to the right now to Kilman. Yet to win against Burnley in his previous 2 games against them. Max Kilman. He'll want that to change tonight, as he goes for an audacious switch out to the left. And it's a beautiful ball as well. Brought down well as well by Bueno. Ball inside, edge of the box. Can't quite be taken on there by Sarabia. Poor clearance from Burnley. It's now with the Spaniard, who flips it into the box looking for Cunha. Headed away by Dara O'Shea. And that'll be a throw-in for Wolves right next to the corner flag on this near side, where it'll be Hugo Bueno to take. Bueno. Back to Sarabia, 2 Spaniards linking up. Here's Totti Gomez in the left-back position. Goes inside here to number 8, João Gomez, who was also signed in January of this year from Flamengo for £15 million. Scored on his debut as well, away in a win against Southampton last season. As Lamina tries to nod it to the edge of the box here to Bueno, who then eventually takes down Brune Larsen, and that'll be a free kick for Burnley in a right back area for the away side. As yes, we are 13 minutes in here, and we're still to have a shot on goal. There'll be a Burnley free kick there, given away by Bueno. Wonder who will take the first shot of the game. I wouldn't mind it being soonish. In this Tuesday night fixture, these two teams meeting for the 138th time in the history. Wolves have more wins, 25 to be exact, 66 altogether against Burnley. 3 of them in the Premier League, 2 of them at home, and 1 of them away. Burnley have lost possession in the Wolves half. It's with right centre half here, Kilman. Again onto his left foot, ball over the top. It's a searching one towards Sarabia, who nearly gets there ahead of Trafford. But he just came out quick enough there. The Burnley goalkeeper to collect it away from the on-rushing Sarabia. And it's now Burnley midway side of their own half here, with Ekdal on the ball, the number 18 for Burnley, starting his first game in the Premier League. He's been out since game week 3 with a knee injury. Came on against Sheffield United as the late substitute. But now he starts tonight as Jordan Bayer is out on a yellow card suspension for Burnley tonight. As they hook it away, Charlie Taylor on halfway, headed forward by Max Kilman. As he went for the header, he was just knocked off balance mid-air. And it'll be a free kick on halfway for the home side, won by captain Kilman. 26 years of age now. Max Kilman joined on a free from Maidenhead back in August of 2018 in the National League, in the lower leagues of English football, as we're over 15 minutes in, and I am trying to make this game as interesting as possible, but we're yet to have a shot, as Cunha does find a ball out to the left to Sarabia. It's back on halfway now with Totti Gomez. Furthest left here is Bueno. Down the line it goes to Sarabia. Can't quite turn away from Dara O'Shea, and Sander Berger can play back to Trafford for Burnley, who clears it away, thumps the ball towards halfway, down the Burnley right, where Lamina nods it out of play for a throw-in on this near side for Burnley, who've already picked up 11 defeats last season. Obviously, it's a different league they're in, but last season they only picked up 3 losses, 1 of them at home in April to QPR. Just how much of a swing of quality and class there between the Championship and the Premier League. It is quite the gulf in quality, and Burnley have learnt that so far this season. They had lost 7 in a row in all competitions before their win at the weekend against Sheffield United. As they've got it to left back here, Taylor, just 5 yards inside the Wolves half, not being pressed here by Hwang Hee-chan, and it's now with Sander Berger on the centre circle, gets away from João Gomez, and plays it out to the right here to Vitinho. He's got Brune Larsen in front of him, he plays it down the line to the winger, who runs out of pitch on the Burnley right, and that'll be a throw-in for the home side. Not great there from Brune Larsen, the Danish winger, who last appeared for his country in March 2022, formerly of Borussia Dortmund. Jakob Brune Larsen, 25 years of age now, the Burnley winger. Throwing down the line by Totti Gomez, headed back forward by Dara O'Shea, back to Gomez, who clears down the Wolves left, a header won by Vitinho, goes out for a throw-in for Wolves, midway inside their own half here, and it'll be taken by Totti Gomez. As in all competitions, Wolves have only picked up the 5 victories this season, 4 of them in the Premier League, but obviously we know about their refereeing controversies this season, so they probably feel like they could have had a lot more points than what they're on, Wolves, but they've been decent under Gary O'Neill, just not quite got the results they deserve. There's Burnley attack, and does that count as a shot? Not quite sure. Brownhill had a shot on the edge of the box, and it was blocked about 5 yards in front of him by Lamina. It was headed nowhere near towards goal, but I think it was an attempt, and it might have just been going on target. It might have been one of the slowest shots to go on target. But, yeah, that's going to count as a shot. We've got our first shot of the game. 17 and a half minutes in, and it's Josh Brownhill with the attempt blocked by Lamina. Corner for Burnley on this near side. It's going to be a outswinger. It's going to be a short one, actually, from Brune Larsen. He then gets it out to Charlie Taylor on the edge of the box. Forward, Brownhill, well worked, lifts it to the far post. It's just overhit there. And he goes out for a goal kick. It was really well worked, though, from Burnley. Playing it short to Brownhill, then out to the edge of the box to Taylor. And then Taylor finding the run of Brownhill, who was just inside the 18-yard box on the right side, who then lifted the ball towards the back post, looking for Ekdal, but he just overcooked it there, Josh Brownhill. And it remains 0-0, but we have had a shot in the game. And it's come from Burnley, and it wasn't a great shot, but it's a shot nonetheless. The goal kick's gone long from Wolves. Header won by Sander Berger on Cunha. It's now back with Burnley in their 18-yard box here with Trafford. To his right is O'Shea. Right back Vitinho, being closed down quickly here by Bueno. And he's run into traffic in front of Cunha. And it'll be a throw in for Burnley in the right back area. Do appreciate everyone who is here, liking and subscribing. Really does help. Like I say, 3 other commentaries coming this week. Tomorrow, Aston Villa against Manchester City. Thursday, Everton, Newcastle. And on Sunday, it is Spurs, Newcastle. So Vitinho's throwing down the line. It's headed away by Craig Dawson halfway. Lamina tries to turn away from Sander Berger and Jay Rodriguez, but he gets caught out in possession. And Sander Berger drives forward into the Wolves half, plays out to the left to Taylor. Got Koleosho ahead of him, and he plays it to the Italian in the final third. 1-1 with Semedo, into the box, goes on the outside, tries a cut back, blocked by the Portuguese international. Won back by Koleosho, who gets the return here from Taylor. Tries to drive again inside the box, and he gets away from Semedo and has the shot, blocked again by Lamina. Only as far as Sander Berger, on the edge of the 18-yard box. Not got much space here to try and work a shot. Goes backwards 5 yards to Brownhill. Misplaced ball towards Koleosho. It's now Lamina. Out to the right, it's a bit overhit in the end, and Sarabia can't keep it in. It'll be a throw-in on halfway for Burnley. Really good positive attacking play there from Koleosho, who's featured in every single game in the Premier League so far this season. 13th start out of the 15. So has the faith of Vincent Kompany, Luca Koleosho. He's got all kinds of nations involved in his family. His dad's Nigerian, his mum is Italian and Canadian. And he was born in the USA, so got a lot going on. And he has decided to represent Italy on his mother's side. As Burnley have worked out to the right-hand side and have won a throw in here. Header away from Totti Gomez, goes out of pitch for Wolves. And Vitinho's got it in his hands here, the Burnley right back, in the final third, waiting for a bit of movement from his side. He's got 3 plays to aim for, and they're all being followed closely. But he gets it to Brun Larsen, who gets the ball poked away from him by Bueno, into Cunha, driving away from Sander Berger, but just poked the ball away from him from behind there, Berger, to keep it away from Cunha, and Burnley win back possession halfway. Brownhill out to the left to number 3. Charlie Taylor, who came through the Leeds youth system, now at the age of 30, the Burnley left back, scored his first ever goal for Burnley since joining in 2017 against Bournemouth back in late October. On halfway, Taylor still on it, goes back into his own half here to Ekdal. He's got Trafford as an option on the edge of the 18-yard box, plays it to the Burnley goalkeeper. Forward to Sander Berger, and then to the left to Ekdal. Clears it first time up towards halfway, cut out by Dawson. Out to the right it goes to Lamina, who's just coming back from an offside position. And that'll be a free kick for Burnley in the left back area. As it remains goalless here at Molineux. Between Wolves and Burnley. 2 teams in the bottom half, 1 in the bottom 3. Wolves currently sit 13th. A win tonight for Wolves would put them only up to 12th, unfortunately. A win would put them on 18 points. As Burnley have it in the centre circle here of Amdouni. He's got Taylor forward already from full back in the Wolves half as an option. He plays it to and then gets the return here. Burnley number 25 goes across to the right to Sander Berger. In the centre circle now is O'Shea on the ball, looking towards the Burnley right, fizzes it out to Vitinho. Not many options available in front of him, so goes back to halfway to O'Shea. And across to his centre back partner here, Ekdal. Only the one change made for Burnley tonight from their win, and that is Ekdal, the centre-half, who comes in for suspended Bayer. So Trafford on the edge of the 18-yard box in a full pink jersey tonight for Burnley as a ball just gets beyond Sarabia, finds right back Vitinho, now inside to Sander Berger, who gets away from João Gomez. Great running from Sander Berger, feeds out to the left to Koleosho. He's got Taylor, the full-back, in support. Will he feed it to him? He tries to go inside instead towards Amdouni, deflects off Nelson Semedo. And it will be a corner on the far side for Burnley. Really solid performance so far from Vincent Kompany's men, 23 minutes in. Don't really think there's been one team better than the other. I think they've both had their glimpses of what they can do. Burnley have actually been able to get shots away at goal. Yes, both have been deflected by Mario Lemina, but they're attempts nonetheless, which we will take. Brun Larsen is over this one on the other side. He was on the other corner before, so he takes him from both flanks. This will be an in-swinger if he directly crosses it in, and he will do so. Near post, and they won by Amdouni, drops in the box, cleared by Cunha, only finds Taylor on the edge of the box, and the full-back goes for the shot. And that's possibly why he's only got the one goal for Burnley in his previous 202 games for the club. That one flies over the crossbar. Amdouni did win the header. I think he deflected off Totti Gomez and eventually cleared by Cunha. And then, about 22 yards out, Charlie Taylor went for it. He's had better ideas. And that one went out for a goal kick. And they're playing out from the back here in the left-back area with Totti Gomez. Here's Bueno. Goes inside towards João Gomez. Loses out here to Brownhill. Brun Larsen down the right-hand side. Tackled by Gomez. Deflects last off Brun Larsen. And that'll be a goal kick for Wolves. Well won back there by João Gomez as Wolves had got themselves into a little bit of a pickle there. But they'd got themselves back out of it. England women are also playing tonight in a Nations League game against Scotland. And England need to win if they want any chances of Team GB playing in the Olympics next year. So we'll keep an eye on that score. It's still 0-0. As England are playing, I think, away against Scotland tonight. It's Daniel Bentley for Wolves. The goalkeeper goes long with this goal kick into the Burnley half. Header won by Brownhill and Lemina as the Wolves man goes down holding his head, but the ball does eventually drop out to Wolves. Sarabia on the edge of the box on the left. Goes for a shot. It deflects. It loops. It's had to be helped over by Trafford. Corner for Wolves. It's their first attempt of the game, and it's come 25 minutes in through Pablo Sarabia. Ball went up aerially. Ball dropped off Brownhill. Played forward by João Gomez, and eventually dropped to Hwang Hee-chan, who fed it out to the left to Sarabia, and who, as he just entered the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, he hit a shot which deflected off Coutinho, and it looped towards the Burnley goal, and it just had to be tipped over there by Trafford. He wasn't taking any chances with that one, as Lemina is back to his feet, and he's okay to continue here for Wolves, despite that little knock in the head from Josh Brownhill. So on this near side with his left foot, Pablo Sarabia's over it, the one who just won the corner with the attempt. Craig Dawson's getting up from the back. We know how much of an aerial threat the Wolves number 15 can be as it goes in near post, headed away. It's well headed away as well by Dara O'Shea, and it will be retrieved here for Wolves as Koleosho blocks a pass back towards Nelson Semedo, and it'll be a throw-in for the home side on this near side. As there is Gary O'Neill in charge of his 49th game in the Premier League. That involves his time at Bournemouth. He was nominated once for Manager of the Month, and that was back in September 2022 when he first took over at Bournemouth as interim. As Wolves still have the ball just inside their own half with Totti Gomez. Goes to his right here to Dawson, being closed down by Jay Rodriguez. Goes across to his right here to Lemina, who's just sat in between Kilman and Dawson in that back three. And goes back into midfield as he plays the ball into Dawson. Now Totti Gomez, midway inside his own half. Back into Dawson again. Wolves happy to just keep the possession and wait for the openings to arrive themselves by just keep moving the ball left to right. There's Semedo charged down the Wolves' right. He's got the pace on Taylor. Knocks it around the fullback towards the byline. Crosses it. Sarabia with the shot, and it's over the bar. But that's the best bit of play we've had so far from Wolves. Really showing his pace there, Nelson Semedo. That was really positive play from the Portuguese wing-back. He received it on halfway from Kilman and just thought of running forward. Got his head down, knocked it past Charlie Taylor with a heavy touch. And as he just got towards the byline, he put a cross in. And it was aimed towards Sarabia. And on the penalty spot, it had just bounced. Well, it was just about to bounce in front of him, but Sarabia took it on the volley instead with his left foot, and it was just always rising over the bar. But that was really good play from Semedo. Unlucky from Sarabia, taking that on the volley. As this doesn't look great for Burnley. We've got a stoppage in play at the minute. Luca Koleosho is currently down for Burnley, the Italian winger who's been their brightest spark probably this season when he's on the ball. Joined in the summer from Espanyol for £2.5 million. Made his Italian under-21s debut last month against Ireland in a 2-2 draw. Let's have a look here. He picked up the injury when chasing a ball down with Hugo Bueno for Wolves. He intercepted a Bueno pass, and he might have just caught the top of his foot, possibly. He's back on his feet, though, just hobbling ever so slightly. Koleosho, as he sends a thumbs up to the technical area of Burnley, presuming that's an indication that he can continue, which will be positive for Burnley, as they have had a decent half an hour. They've been very equal in this game with Wolves. Like I said a few minutes ago, I can't say there's been a better team, really. They've both had their glimpses, both had their chances. None of them really too dangerous. I mean, that one from Sarabia with that volley is the closest we've come for sure. A couple of yards over the crossbar. There is Vincent Kompany, watching on. Made 265 appearances as a player in the Premier League, scoring the 18 goals and winning the 4 Premier Leagues. So we're back underway. Midway side the Wolves half with João Gomez. Out to the right here to Kilman. Koleosho still off the field on the far side. As we go out to the left centre half here for Wolves, and that's Totti Gomez. Up forward to João Gomez. It's the one thing, commentator's nightmare, that. Two players on the same team with the same last name. Just means you've always got to say the first name of one of them. As we have the ball here with Kilman. All Burnley players behind the ball as we are in the Burnley half. Koleosho comes back on. Poor ball, though, there by Hwang Hee-chan. Picked back up for Burnley. Now with the right-back Vitinho, who goes long with a ball. Down, up towards Brun Larsen. Can't quite take it under control there. And won back by Totti Gomez. It's now Bueno back into his own half here now with number 15, Craig Dawson. I always like doing this when I'm doing my research about the head-to-head. I always look at the first game they ever played. And the first game between these two was at Wolves, and they'd won 4-1 against Burnley on the 22nd of September, 1888. And that was 49,381 days ago in Division 1 back then. So this fixture dates far back, into the 1880s, late 1880s. It's got great history, this fixture, and as of late, it's been a better game for Burnley than it has for Wolves. Burnley currently unbeaten in their last 7 against Wolves, obviously when they were in the Premier League, more consistently, obviously dropped out last season. Just 1 win in the last 12 for Wolves against Burnley. Between November 2012 and April 2022. And the win for Wolves, that one in their last 12 against Burnley, came in September of 2018. It was a home win, a 1-0 win through Raul Jimenez with the goal. So usually this fixture does land in the favour of Burnley more than Wolves, but both sides are very different now. As Ekdal from centre-half brings it forward. Amdouni with the shots. It's about 20 yards out. Not a great one. Easy save down low to his left there for Daniel Bentley. Really good centre-half play there from Ekdal, getting away from the challenge of João Gomez, and in between him and Mario Lemina. Laid it off to Amdouni, who couldn't quite get the lift or the power on the strike to make it an uncomfortable one for Bentley. As it is on the penalty spot in the Wolves box here with Craig Dawson. Out to his left here to Totti Gomez. Down the line to Bueno, who gets away from the challenge of Vitinho. Charges down the Wolves left. He needs to try and release if possible. Kind of runs out of room as he's being pressed here by Rodriguez. And he kicks the ball off Brun Larsen. And it'll be a throw-in for Wolves. Good working back there from J. Rodriguez. Not allowing Hugo Bueno to have any time on the ball. Dawson, zip ball forward as Sarabia tries to just lay it off there in towards Cunha. Misplaced pass, picked up by Taylor. Back to Trafford in the Burnley goal. Thumps it clear into the Wolves half. Headed down by Dawson, ahead of Brun Larsen. And it's Wolves back in possession. Now in their own half here, Wolves again. Burnley just sit behind the ball. It's with the left centre half, Totti Gomez. He's going to look for a switch out to the right. He slips as he plays it, but the slip did nothing to the pass. That's a great ball to Nelson Semedo, midway side the Burnley half on the far side. Brings it down fantastically. It's now with Sarabia, who's just drifted out to the right hand side in. Plays it through to Semedo in the box. Great pass. Pull back. It's blocked by Ekdal. Drops back into Semedo towards the corner flag. Goes back to Lemina. Inside to Sarabia. Can't play a ball through Brownhill. And he's back with Burnley. with Jay Rodriguez on the edge of the 18-yard box, coming back to do his defensive work, but his clearance isn't great. Picked up by João Gomez, who just runs out of room here on the Wolves' right, and that'll be a throw-in on the Burnley left. Great intricate ball, though, there by Sarabia to find the run of Semedo in behind, and the cutback just wasn't good enough. But Burnley have definitely defended Wolves decently so far, but when Wolves have got in behind, it has been down their right-hand side with Semedo. So that's probably where Wolves will try and target more of their attacks. Former Barcelona wing-back Semedo does look pretty decent tonight, as it's a header away on the halfway line by Dawson. Hwang loses out aerially to Brownhill, last touch off the South Korean player, and it's a throw-in for Burnley. Midway side their own half on the far side. Charlie Taylor's currently the man with the ball in his hands here for Burnley, with 11 minutes to play. Still 0-0 here at Molineux. As he throws it down the line into the Wolves' half. Controlled by Semedo, but it's not fantastic. It's Amdouni to get it for Burnley. Out to the right to Brun Larsen. Touch and shoots, and it's a wild one. And it's over the crossbar again for Burnley. Semedo just with a loose pass there, laying it into the path of Amdouni in the Wolves' half. He got away from Lamina, played out to the right to Brun Larsen, who had the right idea to take the touch and shoot, take the touch and have the shot quickly, but possibly did it a bit too quickly and couldn't quite get on balance, and the ball was struck over the crossbar. As with 10 minutes left of the half, it does seem that Luca Koleosho can't see the game out for Burnley, and the Italian will be substituted here for Johan Berg Gudmundsson, very experienced Icelandic winger for Burnley. Yet to score this season, Gudmundsson, but it'll be frustration there for Koleosho, who was injured when chasing down the ball with Hugo Bueno. And I think the Spaniard just caught him when he was passing the ball back. So it was accidental. It wasn't a purposeful challenge from Bueno, but it has just meant that Koleosho's game's been cut short. Hopefully it's not a long-term one. I don't think it should be. But he just seemed to have a little bit too much discomfort to play freely like he'd want to, Koleosho. So a change for Burnley before half-time. Forced change with an injury for Koleosho, replaced by Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Formerly of Chelsea, Gudmundsson, during his youth days. As it is, Bueno, the left wing back for Wolves, been forced back to the halfway line here to Gomez. Totti Gomez, that is. Now Dawson, all Burnley play still behind the ball as they do begin to press, but the ball goes forward by Kilman away from Brun Larsen, and now Sarabia, furthest right Semedo, midway side of the Burnley half. He's got options right and left, goes furthest right, and that's Sarabia, who plays it down the line to Hwang Hee-chan, who works a lifted cross into the box. It's a dangerous area, and the header's won by Dara O'Shea and caught in the 6-yard box by Trafford. But that's a good ball, that. Into the 6-yard box by Hwang Hee-chan. Is aimed towards Cunha, who couldn't quite get in front of Dara O'Shea. And the Irishman's header eventually dropped into the hands of Trafford, who clips it forward, helped on by Jay Rodriguez, cut out by Kilman, forward to Lamina, can't take it under control, and eventually it drops here to Jay Rodriguez, out to the right to Johan Berg Gudmundsson, fresh off the bench, can't quite get there ahead of Totti Gomez, who runs the ball out of play, throwing for Burnley in the final third on this near side. So the away side can push up the field, try and get a goal before half-time. 2 more away games for Burnley in their next 3. Got Brighton next up, and then they've got Everton at home, and then Fulham away on the 23rd of December. I mean, every game's a difficult game in the Premier League, but I'm sure Burnley will fancy their chances against a Brighton team who have struggled this season. You know, drawing at home to Sheffield United as of most very recently, so they'll fancy that one. And then Everton at home, well, they'll be searching for points. Got a good away record as well this season. As Burnley win it back in the dangerous area, Jay Rodriguez with the shot, great save from Bentley, drops to Brownhill, and it's another great save. Bentley at the double. It was well won back there for Burnley, high up the pitch on the right hand side. It was João Gomez who was tackled fairly by Amdouni, according to the referee. And they played it inside, about 8 yards out. Rodriguez's first shot was well saved, and it deflected out to Brownhill. And his shot towards the bottom left corner, across the goal, was well tipped behind by Bentley. I think it took a deflection on the way through as well. And when Daniel Bentley came on in the first half against Arsenal, the 67 minutes plus he played, he didn't concede at the Emirates. And he's not conceded so far tonight. Fantastic double save. But Wolves can't be giving away the ball there. He was right on the corner flag. João Gomez losing out to Amdouni. And to be fair, Jay Rodriguez had the better chance and he probably should have scored, but it was quite close to the goalkeeper. The better save was the Brownhill one. As from this corner, Burnley goes short and out to the edge of the box to Vitinho. Across to his right to Taylor. In it goes first time. Dawson wins the first header. Drops to Brownhill, who heads it back forward. Header won again by Craig Dawson. It'll drop to Brownhill, who controls it and plays out to the right to O'Shea. In the final third still here for Burnley. O'Shea's pass blocked off by Bueno. And it'll be throwing midway side the Wolves half here for Burnley. I took under 2.5 goals. That's a great decision because I'll be gobsmacked if there's more than 2 goals in this one. How do you watch these soccer games? I'm presuming you're American. To be fair, for anyone English watching, they're on Amazon Prime this week. I don't know if they still do the free 7-day trial, but if you still have a 7-day trial, then you can get all the Premier League games from this midweek on Amazon Prime. Still listen to the commentaries, just link up the game with my commentary and what's going on. As we have Dara O'Shea heading the ball away here for Burnley on halfway, brought down midway side the Wolves half by Dooney, forces out to the left to Taylor, just a bit behind him, so has to retrieve backwards to gain the ball here for Burnley. Now Sander Berger to his left here, to Amdouni. Goodmanson. Was that Brune Larsen? I think we've had a switch of wings here. I think Brune Larsen's now out on the left, and Goodmanson's out on the right. O'Shea on halfway, out to the right, and here is Goodmanson. Bit of time on the ball here, on the halfway line for Burnley. Almost in a bit of a right-back position here, Goodmanson, as he plays it forward to Rodriguez. Turns away from Lamina. Switches it out to the left. Great ball. Brune Larsen brings it down. 1-on-1 with Semedo. Into the 18-yard box. Goes to the edge of the box towards Sander Berger. Tackled by João Gomez. And João Gomez tackles Goodmanson to keep the ball, but then loses out to Berger. But the referee sees it as a free kick. And that'll be a free kick for Wolves. Won by João Gomez, who was strong in the first challenge and even stronger in the second one. Do you know if it's on Canadian Prime? No idea. You're asking the wrong person. Google it. They'll tell you. Google's always the answer. But, yeah, I can't see there being loads of goals. But we'll wait and see. Who knows? Who knows? But Wolves do come into this game with 3 losses in their last 4. Coming against coming against Sheffield United, Fulham and Arsenal. But those 3 defeats from their last 4 have all been away from home. Obviously, Sheffield United was a late penalty that they gave away. Oh, Sander Berger overruns it on the edge of the box. Sarabia across to Cunha. On once more. Chance. Shot and it's in. Hwang Hee-chan is in goal-scoring form and he continues to find the back of the net right on half-time. It's such a bad giveaway for Burnley. It's how they've conceded so many goals so far this season. But Hwang Hee-chan capitalises on another Burnley error. He gets his 8th of the season in the Premier League. He only managed 3 in all of last season. He's already on 8. He's now got 2 in his last 5. And that's a bad giveaway. Sander Berger driving back towards his own goal and he overhits a touch 4 backwards. And it falls straight into the path for Wolves. And they work it nicely out to the right side of the box. Sarabia to Cunha. To Hwang Hee-chan, who calmly slots it into the bottom left corner. Beyond James Trafford. And Gary O'Neill's side take the lead as we close in to half-time. Wolves 1, Burnley 0. And it's a gift for Wolves, but it's one they've taken and they've got a goal from. But you cannot get away from the fact that's been given to Wolves there by Sander Berger, who's had a decent half as well, I think, for Burnley in the midfield with Josh Brownhill. But was just dribbling back towards his own goal and then just took too heavy of a touch, which allowed Wolves to win possession back. And they had men forward, the likes of Cunha and Hwang Hee-chan, who were the two to link up to create the goal in the end. And I wouldn't say either team really deserved to have the lead, but it's Wolves who have got it. And Burnley, who would need to try and find a way back into this game. They have it in their 18-yard box here with Trafford. 90 seconds left of the first half. Ball dinked towards halfway. Header won by Totti Gomez. Cut out by the head of Brownhill. And it'll drop to Rodriguez, who heads it backwards. And again, it comes to Sarabia, who controls with his arm there on the Wolves' left. And it'll be a free kick for the away side. Yeah, they did score. But under 2.5 goals, though. That's only one. It could be a 1-0 game. But Vincent Kompany will be very frustrated. And I completely understand why. Because the team's been in the game, well in the game. They had a great double chance about 5 or so minutes ago with Rodriguez and Brownhill where they probably should have scored. And to give the goal away like that, where you're playing out from the back and your own player is dribbling back towards his own goal and loses the ball, it's just frustrating. But that's what happens when you give it away in the Premier League. You'll more often than not be punished, unlike the Championship. As they've got it midway side the Wolves half here. On the far side with Charlie Taylor. Inside, 10 yards to Sander Berger. Back out to Taylor. Will he go for an early cross? No, he'll go back to Sander Berger again. It's now with Bruno Larsen. Can't quite take on Hwang Hee-chan, the goal scorer. And the ball runs out of play. Throw in for Burnley. Still in the Wolves half here. As there is Vincent Kompany. Chatting tactics with one of his assistants, Craig Bellamy. Were teammates once at Manchester City. Charlie Taylor receives the ball back from the throw-in. It's now Brownhill. We've got 4 minutes of added on time. We did have a couple of stoppages. Koleosho, and the main one, coming off injured for Burnley. 10 minutes left of the first half, that was. Trafford. Out to left centre half, Ekdal. Burnley still on the ball, but have just been forced back into their own 18-yard box here. Good pressing from the home side. Trafford with a long ball towards halfway, goes ahead of Rodriguez, headed away by Totti Gomez, out to the Wolves left, kept in by Sarabia. It's now with Bueno. João Gomez, back to Totti Gomez, and then into their own half he goes here with number 15, Craig Dawson. He's yet to score this season. The centre half. Scored twice last season in the Premier League. Craig Dawson, one for West Ham and then one for Wolves on his debut. As mentioned before, as we have played one of the four added on, so we've got 3 minutes left to play. And they're still with the Wolves back three with Totti Gomez. Forward to Sarabia, out to the left to Bueno. Caught out of possession there by Vitinho, throwing for Wolves on this near side. Throwing will be taken here by Totti Gomez. Waiting for the movement from his side. Thrown down the line here to Cunha. Chested touch is heavy. Straight out for a Burnley throw-in. Given away there from the former Atletico Madrid forward man, Matheus Cunha. He's got the assist for the goal tonight. He's got 2 in his last 2 as well. Matheus Cunha. And as it looks like, Vitinho is going to go for a long throw-in here into the 18-yard box. The Burnley number 22, that is a long throw. Into the 18-yard box it goes, flicked on through to the edge of the 6-yard box where Dawson slices a clearance. Ball crossed over by Dara O'Shea. It's wildly overhit and it drops out to the right side to Nelson Semedo as Wolves look to counter-attack. Semedo looking on the inside here, dribbles away from Amdouni and finds João Gomez in the centre circle. Out to the left here to Sarabia. Slows the attack down here. Burnley have got men back to defend. But that was a good chance, that. Dawson with a really bad slice clearance, but that cross from O'Shea was so overcooked. Got to get those crosses correct and take those chances, because Burnley have lost a lot of their games due to the opposition making the most of their errors. Burnley need to do the same. Wolves clear of their goalkeeper, Bentley, headed on by Kilman, cut out by Taylor. Heavy touch drops to Kilman, who gives it away again to Ekdal. Heavy touch from the captain. He's now back with Burnley, just inside their own half with Brownhill. Jetted back to O'Shea, just about shifts it to his left here to Ekdal. As we've just over a minute left to play in the first half, Wolves still lead through Hwang Hee-chan, who gets his 8th of the season in the Premier League. I think it's his ninth in all competitions. Yeah, got a goal in the League Cup as well. Hwang Hee-chan against Ipswich when they were defeated in the league. They lost to Ipswich in the League Cup. Sorry, that's where their run came to an end. As Kilman, midway side, the Burnley half, clears the ball out for a Burnley goal kick. Taking no prisoners there, Max Kilman volleyed that away. So Burnley just want to see, Wolves just want to see this game out now till half time. Going at 1-0, regroup, regather, and go again. James Trafford from the goal kick. It's a long one into the Wolves half. It's a central one where Rodriguez can't win the header. Kilman heads it away. Only tries Vitinho, where his headed cleared away by Totti Gomez. Brought down by Cunha out to the left to Sarabia. Midway side the Burnley half. Slips it through to Lamina in the 18-yard box. Tries to get a touch and shot, but he was tackled at the last stages there by Sander Berge. And it'll be a corner on the near side for Wolves. Really well played there by Cunha to bring the ball down away from Ekdal. And Sarabia's ball through and behind for Lamina was a fantastic one. He was onside as well. Played on by Dara O'Shea. But he was well tracked there, Lamina, by Berge. Had to be as well, because that could have been a second for Wolves right on the brink of half-time. They could still get one before the break. With an outswinging corner here from the left foot of Sarabia. It's a one at the near post. It's an easy clearance away. And that will be that. No time for the second corner in quick succession. And Wolves go in at the break. 1 goal to the good at Molineux. It was a game which started with a lack of shots on goal. Our first shot came 18 minutes in, and it was a shot blocked by Lamina from Josh Brownhill. It was a game that took time to open up, and eventually in the 25th minute, we had Trafford tested for the first time as a Sarabia shot was looped into the sky. And it was aiming towards goal, and Trafford didn't take any risks. He tipped it over the crossbar. And then, with 15 minutes to go before half-time, Semedo burst down the Wolves' right-hand side. A real injection of pace away from Charlie Taylor to get the cross in. And it was met by a volley from Sarabia, which just went over the crossbar. And the frustrating part for Burnley, 4 minutes before they conceded, they had a big chance on the 38th minute. Wolves lost it in a really dangerous position in their defensive third. It was given away by João Gomez, and the ball was squared by Amdouni for Burnley to Jay Rodriguez, and around 8 yards out of the near post, he hit it straight at the goalkeeper, Daniel Bentley, and as it came out to Josh Brownhill near the edge of the box, he shot towards the bottom left corner, and that was well saved as well by Bentley, the goalkeeper. So it was a good double save, but that first chance from Rodriguez close in should have really been taken. And then, as I say, 4 minutes later, the goal came. Trying to play out from the back, Sander Berge dribbling back towards his own goal. He overhit a touch, and it fell straight back into the path of Wolves, where Sarabia played it to Cunha, out to the right side of the box to Hwang Hee-chan, who took it on the right foot, bottom left corner, beyond James Trafford in the Burnley goal, and it gave Wolves a 1-0 lead. And in a game where it's been Burnley with all the shots, with the majority of the shots, it's been Wolves with the majority of the possession. At half-time, it is Wolves 1, Burnley 0. So that's been the first half at Molineux. Like I say, Burnley have had more shots. A lot of them were going over the crossbar, in fairness. They've had 8 shots, 3 on target. Wolves had 3 shots, 2 on target. And that seems to be kind of like the way the game's kind of moving. Like, Wolves are having a lot of the ball and not having many shots. But when they are getting the chances to shoot, they're good opportunities. They're not having shots for the sake of it. And it feels like Burnley, they're winning the ball because they're not having a lot of the possession. They're winning it, trying to attack as quick as they can. And that means kind of hurrying shots. Like, a lot of their shots have been from the edge of the box, and a lot of them have ballooned over the crossbar. It's like, right, we've won it, quick, forward, get quick, shoot, quick, before they get it off us. And it seems like they're kind of rushing it a little bit. That's why they've had a lot more shots than Wolves, but they've probably had the same amount of meaningful shots, you know, where they've been on target and they've actually challenged the goalkeeper. So it's definitely been an even game, though. I think it's a bit unlucky on the side of Burnley, the fact they've gone in at 1-0 down, because obviously the Wolves goal has come from a Burnley error, an individual error. I mean, as a team, they've worked quite well, and that's the problem with the Premier League. If you keep creating these individual errors, you just won't survive, because it makes good performances look bad because of the result that goes with it. It's like, I'm sure a lot of the Burnley games, you know, they've lost 11 from their first 14, but I'm sure a lot of those 11 games they've lost, they've actually played quite well. But because they've conceded so many goals from just little individual errors, the results probably look worse than what the performance actually was. And hopefully, for Burnley's sake tonight, that's not the case again, where they play really well or play decently but they lose because of an individual error, and it just goes down as another defeat, and it just looks like Burnley are rubbish. When in fact, for me, they look like a decent side, but it's just those little errors that are costing them. And like I say, in the Premier League, you make errors, you can see goals. It is as simple as that. But thank you to everyone who has listened to the first half. We will actually switch over, and during half time, we will have a quick watch of Luton Arsenal. They kicked off at 8:15, so we are around 10 minutes into this one at Kenilworth Road. See if we've got any score yet in this one, because I've not checked. It's the great thing about Amazon Prime. It's so easy to work. It's fantastic. But obviously the second half in our game will be getting back underway in around 10 minutes or so. Still 0-0. Yeah, just over 9 minutes in. Luton Arsenal. So we'll have this on. See if there's any goal updates, because obviously this does affect Burnley, this game. The Luton result. As if results stay the same, Luton would be 3 points above Burnley in 17th. Obviously, a loss for Burnley would leave them in 19th, behind Everton. But we'll see if Arsenal, the league leaders, can go to a stadium like Kenilworth Road and pick up the 3 points. You know, it's such a, it's a ground like no other in the Premier League, isn't it? Kenilworth Road. So small and enclosed, and just has that such old school atmosphere that a lot of teams will come here and struggle. Like the likes of Liverpool, they could only conjure a draw in the end at Luton. But as soon as half time's over at Molineux, we'll get back over to that game. Say 4 more commentaries coming up, 3 more, sorry, 4 all week, 3 coming up after today, where we will be doing Aston Villa against Manchester City tomorrow, 8:15 kickoff. Thursday we will be covering Everton at home to Newcastle, and then we'll be seeing Newcastle in action again on Sunday as they travel to Tottenham Hotspur. So some big games all in the Premier League coming this week on the channel, so make sure you subscribe and like so you know when I'm going live. Hit that notification bell as well, as it notifies you when I go live. There's Luton in the final third here. Thrown all the way back, though, towards halfway. Very interesting to see how Arsenal deal with Luton away from home, because they will fancy every home game they've got this season, Luton, because it's probably the only way they'll survive, realistically, being strong at home. Because away from home will be difficult for Luton, losing at the weekend away against Brentford. Luton. Yeah, zipping it about here a little bit. Great signing. I mean, I've heard it's been a great signing. Ross Barkley for Luton. Apparently he's been quite good for them this season so far. It's good to see players like Ross Barkley coming back to the Premier League and showcasing what he's about. Obviously, he had that move to Chelsea, where obviously he was never really going to be a first teamer, but then didn't have a great spell out of England. I think it was Nice, wasn't it, in France? He definitely was a French club Ross Barkley was at. But now he's back in the Premier League, showing what he can do. As England are 3-0 up away at Scotland, but the Netherlands are 1 up. So, as it stands, the Netherlands are top of England's Nations League group, which means that England don't qualify for the Olympics. Well, Great Britain don't qualify for the Olympics. They need a goal difference swing. And to be fair, the goal difference is only 4 at the minute. So, the goal difference swing is 1. So, I think the message for England just needs to be score as many goals as you can. Quick-fire double from Lauren James has helped that. We'll keep an eye out on that one. And obviously we'll keep an eye out on this Luton Arsenal game once we go back to Wolves Burnley for the second half. As obviously I'm not watching this Luton Arsenal game intently, but does look like Luton are having a decent share of the ball, as they're in behind here on the left side of the box. I think it's Adebayo on the left. Tackled, well defended by Saliba. But Burnley still attack here. At Burnley, I've got Burnley in my head. Luton still attack. Ross Barkley playing a ball through. Oh, Saliba again in the way. He's so good. I really like Saliba for Arsenal. I'm nowhere near an Arsenal fan, but you've got to appreciate a good defender when you see one. And he really is a good defender, William Saliba. Just makes you think, why was he sent on loan so many times? Back to Ligue 1. And you can see why the teams in Ligue 1 really wanted to keep him. Again, Ross Barkley shifting out to the left. It's Brown here for Luton. I think he scored the other weekend. In the box, pulls it across. Oh, who's that come off? May have come off Saliba, but still alive here for Luton as they get it back in the box. Cut out by White. Drops here to Saka. And obviously, Arsenal got 3 points at the weekend against Wolves. 2 quick-fire goals. 6th minute from Saka, 13th from Ødegaard. To get a late comeback goal. Wolves in the 86th minute, but couldn't quite get the equaliser. Gary Neal did come out in the end and criticise the referee. Well, I mean, I say what a shock. He's criticised the referees, but he has rightly criticised referees this season, Gary O'Neill. Wolves have been very hard done by from refereeing, but he said that the timekeeping wasn't great in additional time. He said Arsenal were time wasting a lot, and it wasn't all added back on for Wolves. He said the ball was out of play for a lot of the additional time. So it's Arsenal just in possession here. Ødegaard, who's one of those scorers against Wolves. Not actually seen Arsenal attack yet. Oh, Ross Barkley nearly nips it off Martinelli. Yeah, just inside their own half here, Arsenal. Being kept in here by Luton. Good press from the home side. Still inside their own half here, Ødegaard. Ball over the top, in behind. Cut out by Kaminsky. And it's now back with Luton again. They've probably been quite level with Arsenal here at Luton. That's a big challenge on Gabriel. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty even between Luton and Arsenal in the first 15 minutes. Kabore with a big challenge there on Gabriel. Runs right into the Brazilian. Oh, God. Ugh. Straight into the Arsenal number 6. Realistically, for my fantasy team, I could do with an Arsenal clean sheet. I've got Gabriel and Saliba in my team. So that'd be quite nice. Don't think I have any Wolves or Burnley players, so... There's Martinelli down the left in the final third. Tries the cross, deflects. Yeah, Luton holding their own against league leaders Arsenal. As we are going to make our way back to Molineux for the second half of Wolves-Burnley. A bit disappointed I'm having to leave that game. But let's hope we get some more excitement in the second half. I mean, the game definitely grew as the half went on. There's obviously it did take nearly 20 minutes for our first shot from either side, but we were treated to 11 shots in the end. I mentioned it after half time, but Burnley had the majority of the shots, but a lot of them were outside the box, just over the bar. And Wolves have had 3 shots, 2 on target, so not as many as Burnley. But Wolves, when they've had shots, they've been in good areas, where they've been patient and they've worked the good opportunities, and it's rewarded them with the lead, winning the ball high off Sanderberger, who gave it away for Burnley. But Arsenal at Luton, I'm interested to see how that one ends. Obviously, when this game ends, we'll still have a bit of the Arsenal-Luton game left, so I'll have to watch the back end of that one. As for the England women, in the Nations League games against Scotland, they are 4-0 up at half-time, and the Netherlands are 1-0 up. So, at the minute, the goal difference is the same. So I'm not quite sure what then. It goes to head. But they've both won and lost against each other, so I don't know what it'll go to after, but England women need to win and top their group in the Nations League if GB are to play in the Olympics, the GB women's team, the football. As we are seeing here, the Wolves side emerge back out of the tunnel, being led by captain Max Kilman, who, interestingly enough, has 25 appearances for England for their futsal team, which is, I found very interesting. 25 appearances, and he had to give up the futsal when he signed for Wolves back in August 2018. But yeah, 25 appearances for his country, futsal. So obviously shows that he's good with his feet, and we did see a glimmer of that in one. I can't remember, it was near the start of the first half where he came out from the back dribbling with the ball. Obviously, he's, with futsal, the fact it's such a heavy ball, you've got to be good with your feet, keeping it close. And Kilman showed that a little bit in that first half. It is only the one goal that separates these two teams. As I mentioned before, just one win for Wolves in their last 12 against Burnley. Their last win came at home in September 2018. Burnley are unbeaten in their last 7 against Wolves, all of them in the Premier League from March 2019 to April 2022, including an away win at Molineux where Burnley won 4-0 back in April 2021. Chris Wood first half hat-trick. So back underway, Burnley kicking left to right, right to left, Wolves left to right. It's on halfway line with O'Shea, headed forward down the Burnley left. It's sliced out off, I think it bounced off the knee of Semedo. Throw in for Burnley, midway side the opposition half, thrown back into their own half by Taylor into Ekdal. Jamal Ekdal for Burnley, Swedish centre-half, made his last appearance for his country in June of this year against New Zealand. Stockholm-born centre-half, and he's the one who sent it high in towards Brun Larsen, headed away by Nelson Semedo, only as far as Amdouni, who overruns it there. Wolves throwing midway side their own half here with number 22, Nelson Semedo, who spent 3 years at Barcelona, 124 appearances. He was well used at the Spanish Giants, as he has it here, clearing it down the right-hand side, chested down by Huang Ki-Chan, but doesn't quite get it directed to Sarabia, throwing again for Burnley. There's Vincent Kompany, watches on. 72nd game in charge of Burnley, looking for his 39th win. But they are currently behind as Sarabia clears away from the throw-in, but only as far as O'Shea. Into his centre-back partner here, Ekdal, who goes back to the edge of the 18-yard box here to James Trafford, who joined Manchester City at the age of 12 before leaving at the age of 20 in the summer, just before turning 21 in the October of this year. Dara O'Shea. It's a ball down the right-hand side, and it will be collected by Goodmanson. 1-on-1 with Totti Gomez, inside to the edge of the box towards Rodriguez, cut out by Lamina, drops back to Goodmanson, who will curl the ball towards the far post, header away by Semedo, helped on by Lamina. One back for Burnley by Charlie Taylor, getting there ahead of Pablo Sarabia. And the away side continue with the possession inside the Wolves half. Ekdal from the back. It's now Sander Berger back on halfway here with Dara O'Shea. Dinking a ball out to the left to Taylor, midway side the Wolves half on this near side. Goes on the inside to Amdouni. Returns the favour back to Taylor. And it is the away side just keeping the ball here at Molineux. Sander Berger not really being closed down by any Wolves man. Just goes to right back Vitinho, who tries to go forward, but he's been tackled there by Bueno. Ball inside to Huang Hee-chan, can't quite get away from Brownhill. Just pokes it away from the South Korean, and it's well defended there from Brownhill. It's a clearance for Burnley out to the left, brought down by Amdouni, the former Basel forward. Going to left back Taylor, forward to Amdouni, who's been caught late there by Semedo just inside the Burnley half. It'll be a free kick for the away side, who won the championship last season with a record-breaking 7 games left. Ended up on 101 points in the end as a quick ball there, free kick from Burnley. It's going to be retaken. Jared Gillett wasn't ready, the Australian referee, who has officiated once already at Molineux this season in their League Cup second round. in their League Cup third round game, in their win against Blackpool 5-0 back in late August. I think my second round actually in the end. That win. Yeah, second round. Second round win against Blackpool. And they'll take it eventually. Down the Burnley left into the final third. It's a lofted one, headed away by Semedo. Drops to Amdouni. One back by Semedo. Cleared by Kilman. It's deflects off Brownhill. It's now with the Burnley number 8 forward. Nice 1-2 with Amdouni. Brownhill tries to find Amdouni again in the box. Cut out by Kilman. Drops to Sarabia. Misplaced pass out to the right side. But as he played the ball there, Sarabia, who was caught late by a Burnley midfielder. And it'll be a free kick for the home side. Well won by Sarabia. As Arsenal have taken a 1-0 lead away from home at Luton. Gabriel Martinelli with the goal for the league leaders. Do I have Martinelli in my fantasy team? Have I started him? I know I've got him. And he's starting. Nicely done, Martinelli. Well done. My fantasy team needs those points. As we are 4.5 minutes into the second half. It's Wolves on the ball. Long clearance by Totti Gomez. It's over the top of the Burnley defence. Sarabia will chase it, but Taylor will get that first and head it back into his goalkeeper Trafford, who rolls out quickly towards the right back area to Dara O'Shea. It goes back here to James Trafford, and it's Burnley on the ball. Sander Berger out to the right here to O'Shea. Poking it away from Lamina, finding Rodriguez, first time ball round the corner, can't quite find Goodmanson. It's now back in the Wolves 18-yard box with Bentley. First time clearance loops in the Wolves sky and headed forward by Dara O'Shea. Laid off to Sander Berger by Goodmanson. Coutinho's making a run forward from full-back. Feeds it to him in the final third. Crosses it first time. Deep one towards Bruno Larson. It's had to be chested behind for a corner by Nelson Semedo. Set piece for Burnley as they chase this game against Wolves. Good forward run there by Coutinho to get in a dangerous area for Burnley. To then cross it towards Bruno Larson, where it was dealt with there by Nelson Semedo. Can the away side get back level? They've only drawn once so far this season, Burnley. That came away at Forest. In it goes near post. It's a header won by Craig Dawson towards the edge of the box where it's headed back in there by Coutinho. Bit of head tennis going on and Coutinho eventually tries to strike with the left foot. But it's honestly so far wide and it'll be a goal kick for Wolves. Not known for his goal scoring, Coutinho, the Brazilian right back who's making his 6th start in a row. The man signed last summer. Got the 3 goals for Burnley, all in wins in the Championship last season. For Coutinho. And it'll be Daniel Bentley, the goalkeeper, making his 6th appearance for Wolves since joining in January of this year. To take this goal kick long. Out towards the Wolves' right-hand side where it'll be a header away by Ekdal, helped on by Bruno Larson towards Jay Rodriguez where Dawson volleys away. Loose ball eventually drops to Brownhill on halfway. Out to Bruno Larson, away from Kilman. Down the line it goes to Amdouni. Being challenged here from Lamina. And he wins the ball back for Wolves. And Sarabia goes to Semedo. Back out wide to Sarabia. Ball inside. It's a nicely lifted ball. Hwang Ki-chan now has it. Away from Rodriguez. Chance on here for Wolves. Options left and right. Tries to play it forward towards Cunha. Cut out though for Burnley. But not dealt with until Dara O'Shea volleys on the edge of the 18-yard box. And it finds Sander Berger who overruns it once again for Burnley. And it's Kilman looking out to the right towards Sarabia. Just behind the Spaniard. Thrown inside the Burnley half for the away side. Good play there from Bruno Larson to get away from Max Kilman. But then Amdouni was met by a very strong and fierce Mario Lamina tackle. It was a fair one. Won the ball back for Wolves. No foul within it. It's Burnley on halfway on the far side with Goodmanson trying to play a long ball forward. Cut out instantly by Bueno. And it's now with Cunha in the left wing position. Driving towards the Burnley goal. Plays it forward back towards Bueno, who's been brought to the ground on the edge of the box. And that's a free kick. Sander Berger can't believe it. And a lot of the Burnley players can't. It just seemed like he'd outstrengthened Hugo Bueno. There's a yellow card as well. Sander Berger, the Norwegian midfielder, is in some shock. And so am I. So Hugo Bueno's received the ball from Cunha. And on the edge of the 18-yard box, Yeah, it's a slight shove with the left hand. In fairness to the referee, it's probably a free kick, but a booking's harsh. It's just a left arm in the back, shoving Hugo Bueno off balance. It is a free kick, and it does mean that both Burnley central midfielders are on bookings because Josh Brownhill got a booking within about 2 minutes. Yeah, it's definitely probably a free kick, but that booking's a little harsh there for Sander Berge. As it is out towards the left side, so it's a bit of a tighter angle for a shot here for Sarabia, but a great chance for a cross. And he will cross it towards the far post. Lamina! Oh, it's just over. In the 6-yard box, the angle was against him, but he probably will look back at that and thinks he could have done a little bit better. No flag was raised for an offside. He probably would have been if the ball had gone in the back of the net. I think he's just gone early there, Lamina. And yeah, the angle was against him. He was always chasing the ball. Was able just about to get a head on it, but over it went and wide. But don't think it would have stood if the ball had hit the back of the net. As Dawson loses it midway side. He's on half time. Dooney overruns it to Lamina. And it's back with Wolves with Nelson Semedo charging at the halfway line. Passes that halfway line. Really good pace again from Nelson Semedo. Slowing the game down here. Playing it backwards here to Sarabia. He goes to the halfway line here to Mario Lamina. Formerly of Juventus. Lamina. Played for 3 Premier League clubs now. Started at Southampton. Played for Fulham as well. Now Wolves. And he's yet to win in his previous 5 against Burnley. Mario Lamina. There's Sarabia, 1-2 with Nelson Semedo. Sarabia, ball in the box, comes off the head of Dara O'Shea. Still in the 18-yard box, needs to be dealt with here by Charlie Taylor. As he hooks it over his head and out for a throw-in. I do apologise, I will start the timer now. That is my fault completely. We are just over 55 minutes in now. We are 55 and a half minutes in. Do apologise. It's still 1-0. Hwang Hee-chan goal in the 42nd minute. Separates these two sides. Nelson Semedo can't quite keep the ball for Wolves. Cleared away for Burnley up towards halfway where it's brought down by Totti Gomez. He has all the time in the world here to play a 10-yard pass to his right to Dawson. Thinks it out wide right. Brought down well by Semedo. He's got the run of Sarabia in front of him. Decides to go inside instead to the edge of the box towards Cunha. Tackled fairly by Dara O'Shea. But he does just stay down here. I think it's actually Hwang Hee-chan who stays down as Luton have an equaliser. Osho with the goal in the 25th minute. So it's Luton Town 1, Arsenal 1. Not the result that that Burnley want to be seeing. And I don't want to be seeing it either. As I did have Saliba and Gabriel in my fantasy team. So no points from either of them. But we're back underway in this game. Oh, Kilman just about plays it across to Totti Gomez, nearly intercepted by Rodriguez in the Wolves half. It's now João Gomez out to the furthest player on the right, and that's Semedo. Ball played down the line, deflects off Brownhill, eventually drops it to Brun Larsen. Back inside by Brownhill, finds Sander Berge, midway side the Wolves half, driving forward, shoved in the back by Mario Lamina, and that'll be a free kick and a yellow card. And that is nearly identical to the Sander Berge foul a minute or two ago. Mario Lamina is not happy with Jared Gillett's decision, as Lamina has just come back from a yellow card suspension after picking up 5 bookings. That's now his 6th of the season. Sander Berge's driving forward. Bit of a shove in the shoulder. Is it a shoulder barge? No, it's a bit of an arm in the back, probably. Again, I don't think either of them are yellow cards, but they probably both are free kicks. But I think the fact the referee gave a yellow for the first one, he kind of has to give a yellow for that one. And I don't think either of them were yellow cards. But that's the decision that the referee's made. And at least he's been consistent with it, even if he's wrong. Or I think he's wrong anyway, but we're all entitled to our own opinion. So, chance for Burnley with a free kick. Is it the distance for a shot? I don't really know, because I can't quite see where the free kick is situated. It's just to the left, so people would say it's usually more suited to a right footer, and that would indicate Brun Larsen taking it, and it does like he's the one shaping up to take it. Oh, nice distance this as well, about 25 yards out. The number 34 strikes it over the bar, but it was never coming down. And that's a goal kick for Wolves. Not good enough as well at all there by Jakob Brun Larsen, the Danish winger, signed on a loan from Hoffenheim for the season. Yeah, really poor that from Brun Larsen. Not at the adequate quality needed. As we've just over half an hour to go, still 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. As Bentley takes the goal kick down the Wolves' left, headed away by Ekdal, drops over as João Gomez. It's now Hwang Hee-chan trying to get around Vitinho, loses out to the Brazilian in the end, midway inside the Burnley half, and it's now in the 18-yard box of Burnley with Trafford. Clips it forward, can't be headed on by Jay Rodriguez, cut out by Lamina, drops out to the left here to Hwang Hee-chan, bursting away from Berger, and Vitinho keeps it alive here, the South Korean, nutmegs the Brazilian right back, but can't quite get beyond Sander Berger in the right back area. And it'll be a cleared ball there by Berger into Rodriguez. Forward and out to the right to Goodmanson. Back to Rodriguez. First time clearance. It's a high one. Brun Larsen will chase it. Headed out to the left by Kilman to Dawson. He goes back into his 18-yard box here to Bentley. Then out to the right to Semedo. Well kept and well won back there for Wolves. As Burnley will try to get out themselves. You can only do it for a long ball forward. And it's now Sarabia with a switch out to the left. It's a great ball as well. Bueno. Into the final third here. 1-on-1 with Vitinho. Enters the box. Goes on the outside. Works. Attempted to work the cross, but it was deflected by Vitinho. And out for a corner. Well played from Wolves there. Back to front. Winning the ball back in their own half and keeping it and then working it forward. It was a nice switch by Sarabia to find the Wolves left-hand side free. Vitinho just currently struggling after that block. It unfortunately hit the area where no one wants the football to go, especially when you're on the receiving end of a ball. He came, it's right in there. It's going to be a sore one for Vitinho. Corner goes in. Oh no, it's just dealt with there. Sander Berger at the near post. Bit of a mix-up. There was no one there for Wolves to attack it. So it's kind of left for Berger and Trafford to deal with it. Trafford kind of came for it. Berger didn't leave it. He's ended up volleying it over the bar. It's been dealt with. It's another corner. Taken short. Back to Sarabia on the Wolves' left. Goes to the edge here. To Bueno. Furthest left against Sarabia. Receives it. Right foot. Deep ball. Dawson. Ball across. Oh, how's no one there? Dawson got on the ball after leaving Brownhill for dead. Don't know if there was contact on Brownhill. Don't think there was enough for a free kick. So I don't think one was given. Good ball by Sarabia. It was a deep one. I think it was a bit of both, to be fair, there. Brownhill and Dawson both pulling and shoving at each other. Brownhill was the one who ended up on the deck. Dawson squared it straight across the goal. And I have no idea how no one's got on the end of that. And I don't think the free kick was given, so it probably would have stood that goal. Absolute chance there for Wolves, and Burnley have survived it. As we're on halfway here with Burnley, Dara O'Shea just driving forward from centre half. Now out on the far side with Vitinho. Back to Dara O'Shea from Berger. So we're in the Burnley half with Ekdal. Still a tight game. There's only one goal in it. Both teams well within the game to score a goal themselves. Wolves could easily make it 2. Well, they nearly just did. But Burnley also still in it for the equaliser as Ekdal's miscued header goes out of play for a Wolves throw-in on this near side, just inside the opposition half. So it looks like Burnley are going to make a change soon as Semedo's ball down the right, can't quite find Lamina as he's being pulled down there by Charlie Taylor, and that'll be a booking for the left back. Was well and truly in behind there, Mario Lamina. And Charlie Taylor knew that, hence why he didn't let go of him. Made sure he'd restrained him in every way possible, holding the shirt, grabbing his shoulder. I think he'll take that yellow card, Charlie Taylor, because Mario Lamina was down the Wolves' right and in behind. So Wolves free kick on this near side. Are Burnley going to make the change now? It's a bit of a silly one. You don't usually make the changes during a set piece, and I don't think they will. Sarabia on it. It'll be a left-footed cross. In it goes. It goes all the way into the box where it's headed away by Amdouni. Can't be dealt with by Brownhill. In a right-back area here with Jay Rodriguez, who needs to clear. And the last touch comes off Lamina. Goal kick, but there was an offside in there. At some point, Darren can flag is up on the near side. Again, I don't quite know who was offside, but either way, it trickled out for a goal kick. So it was a Burnley ball either way. So, Burnley ball. Just over 25 minutes to play. Trafford with the ball into the Burnley half. It's a lifted one, headed won by João Gomez. Headed away by Charlie Taylor on halfway. It's now into the path of Amdouni, who's been tackled fairly there from behind by Lamina. It's now Sarabia. Nearly turning into traffic here on the right-hand side, but instead brought down by Charlie Taylor, who's just been booked. He has to be careful, Burnley's number 3, and I think Jared Gillett is well aware of the fact that the Burnley left-back is on a booking. But that's definitely not a second yellow card offence for sure, but if he does a number of them fouls, then it might equal one. Midway inside their own half here for Wolves is Craig Dawson. Out to the right here to Max Kilman. 25 minutes to play. On the edge of the 18-yard box. Totti Gomez out to João Gomez. Just about fizzes it to the left to Bueno. Goes back to Totti Gomez. First time clearance. Ekdal gets there ahead of Hwang Hee-chan. Out to the right to Dar Roche. Lifted ball over the top. Can't quite find Vitinho. Volleyed out by Totti Gomez. As Burnley is still not making that change. It looks like they were readying Mike Tresor, the left winger on loan from Genk. But he's still not come on yet. Vitinho on the right side for Burnley. Inside it goes to Sander Berger. Towards the byline. Works across. Goes all the way through towards Amdouni. There's shouts of a handball off Semedo, but it's cleared by Wolves in the end. Into the Burnley half. I think there was half shouts for handball there by Amdouni. Referee waved them away. Interesting to see a replay on that one. Don't think there was much in it, to be honest, from the angle we can see. O'Shea down the right channel looking for Goodmanson. Tackle by Totti Gomez. Can't be kept by Cunha. Vitinho down the line. Finds Goodmanson. Just clipped from behind there by Totti Gomez. Free kick just inside the Burnley half on the far side. So it'll be a chance for Burnley to try and just pump this ball forward. Out to the left-hand side. It's a high one. Bruno Larson loses out to Semedo. Headed away by Lamina on half, looking towards the halfway line to Hwang Hee-chan. He loses out to Ekdal. It's now with Dara O'Shea. Forward to Berger. Out to the right back. Vitinho. It's a poor touch. It's one back here for Wolves from Hugo Bueno, who gets the return ball here from Cunha. Wolves attack in the final third. Can they work across into the box? No, Vitinho's done well there. Stop Bueno from causing any kind of danger. And he's made to play the ball backwards, and Wolves are on the centre circle with Lamina. All plays behind the ball here for the away side. Kilman ball forward, cut out in the midfield by Brownhill. Works out to the left here to Bruno Larson. Can he get around Kilman? No, he can't. Difficult task that. Kilman built at 6'4". Bruno Larson doesn't have the strength or the pace to get around him. But a clearance from Wolves is headed back forward by Brownhill to Amdouni. Finds Berger in the midfield, who gets away from João Gomez. Plays it through towards Jay Rodriguez on the edge of the box. It just goes behind him. Dealt with by Dawson. Turn away there by Sarabia on Charlie Taylor. Forward to Cunha. Midway inside the Burnley half. Sarabia gets the return. Edge of the box. Does he shoot? He wants to shoot, but he's well tackled. No, he's not well tackled. He's unfairly tackled by Sander Berger, according to the referee. Again, I thought that was a decent challenge. The referee thinks differently. Company is absolutely furious. I'd have to get a replay. Sander Berger is on a booking. I just don't think that's a foul. He's chasing Sarabia from behind, and it looks like he gets his foot across and just nips the ball. Does he go through Sarabia to get to the ball? I don't know, but for me, I don't think that's a free kick. Looks like he gets around the man to get his left foot to the ball. It's on the left side of the box here. Sarabia with his left foot, he stood over it. Don't know what the distance is as of yet, but it does look like a nice distance. If Sarabia can whip his left foot around this ball towards the top left corner, possibly. Four-man wall here for Burnley. Bruin Larson, O'Shea, Rodriguez within it. Yes, nice distance. Sarabia over the ball. Oh, it's saved by Trafford. It was aiming towards the top left corner. Trafford had to be equal to it. And he was. Didn't go around the wall, but definitely went over it. Just about got it over the head of Sanderberger, and Jay Rodriguez didn't jump, and it was going towards the top left corner. It needed to be saved. It was certainly going on target. Sarabia will take the resulting corner on the far side. Left-footed outswinger, near post, helped on, and it's wide and over the bar, and Hwang Hee-chan can't quite add to his goal that he's already picked up today in the first half. In the 42nd minute, it's the goal that separates the two teams. And Burnley eventually make that change. Mike Tressor is on. Not quite sure who was replaced. But he's on. Like I say, on loan from Genk this season, Mike Tressor picked up the remarkable 24 assists last season in 42 games for the Belgian side. There's under 20 minutes to go. Burnley have it in the left-back area here with Ekdal. Been forced to go backwards here to Trafford. Takes the touch. It's a poor one. He's outside his area and he does clear it. But it's all off-balanced and it's not a great one. He goes for a wall throw-in midway inside the Burnley half on the near side. They take quickly. Right wing position here to Matheus Cunha. Keeping the ball away from Tressor. On the byline. He keeps it, Cunha. He doesn't let it run out of play, but eventually he's tackled. And it's Amdouni who takes on the turn away from Lamina. Runs into traffic though for Semedo, but loose ball drops to Rodriguez. Loses out here though to Sarabia. He then tries to win the ball back there, the Burnley man, and it comes off the Spaniard last. Throw-in for Burnley in a left-back position. There is Gary O'Neill barking the instructions. Did face Burnley last season while they were in the Championship when he was at Bournemouth. Lost 4-2 at home in January in the FA Cup third round. As Jay Rodriguez flicks the throw-in on, but no one in a Burnley shirt's there to chase it. Back in the possession of the home side, as Bruin Larson was the one replaced by Mike Tressor. It's back with Burnley now, midway inside their own half here with centre-half Dara O'Shea. Formerly a Premier League man whilst he was at West Brom. Dara O'Shea made his debut in the Premier League, 21 and a half years old. 21 years and 6 months old he was. In his debut against Leicester back in September of 2020, it was a 3-0 defeat that day for West Brom as Burnley lose possession with Amdouni, try to find Mike Tressor. Ball down the right channel for Wolves. Hwang Hee-chan enters the box, 1-on-1 with Ekdal. He pulls it across towards Lamina, well cut out by Brownhill. Plays it forward to Tressor, who is forced to play backwards now to the right to Vitinho. Forward here to Rodriguez, down the line to Goodmanson on halfway. Not many plays forward though for Burnley as they play it back and across, and it's picked up by O'Shea ahead of Cunha. Yeah, there could have been a counter-attack on there for Burnley, but they ain't got the plays forward. Brownhill switch out to the right, that's a good ball. Finds Goodmanson on the far side, sprinting away from Totti Gomez. Again, not many options though for him. He's asking the questions there, the Icelandic winger. You know, who do I pass it to? Where's the advanced pass to try and get this equalising goal? As they're still in it at 1 down. If it turns to 2, then it's a bigger mountain to climb for Burnley. But they've got it in the Wolves half here, enjoying a spell of possession. Ekdal been forced backwards here, 10 yards to Brownhill. Drives forward, out to the left of Tressor. Turns away from Semedo. but loses out to Lamina. Ball forward and wide right to Sarabia on halfway. Into Cunha. Heavy touch, gets away from Ekdal, but then was pulled back by the shoulder. And that will be a yellow card, and he accepts the consequence there. Yamar Ekdal. It was a very clever touch from Cunha to take a heavy one into the space down the Wolves' right. And Ekdal was not allowing the former Atletico Madrid striker to go any further. Pulled him by his shoulder. Rightly given yellow card there and free kick by Jared Gillett. Thanks for everyone who's here. It's good numbers in the chat tonight. If you are new, liking and subscribing certainly helps. And check the channel out for this week's upcoming commentaries. Tomorrow we've got Aston Villa, Manchester City, 8:15. Then on the Thursday we've got Everton, Newcastle. And then we've got Spurs, Newcastle on the Sunday as well. As Charlie Taylor heads forward the Wolves ball. And that will drop eventually. In the end to Brownhill, was brought down from behind there by number 22, Nelson Semedo. Free kick on halfway for Burnley. Got just over 15 minutes to play, and not sure what Brownhill's doing there, poking that free kick forward towards no Burnley shirt, and it's gone back to Wolves to Semedo. It's now with the goalkeeper Bentley. Up high ball towards Hwang Chan, who knocks over Ekdal in an aerial battle. And that'll be a free kick for the away side, looking for their second win of the season in the league away from home. Their only other league win away came away at Luton, obviously, in early October. Have picked up 4 of their 7 points away from home, Burnley, including that draw at Forest. Let's play out from the back to the right side here to O'Shea in the right back area. Down the line it goes to halfway, cut out by Totti Gomez on Goodmanson. Header drops to Hugo Bueno. He lays it off to Cunha, tries to get inside, but he's sandwiched by Vitinho and another Burnley man. And that'll be a free kick for the home side. Well, won by Matheus Cunha, who provided the assist for the goal tonight. Got 4 goals this season. This in the league, Matheus Cunha, and only managed the 2 last season in the Premier League when joining in January on loan originally against Leeds and Leicester, the two of the 3 relegated sides. That's from this free kick. He gets it and he takes it from afar with a shot towards the bottom left corner. Just bounced in front of Trafford, so he met the save well there. Down low to his right. It was played short there by Sarabia. Wasn't closed down by a Burnley man, but the shot was from around 28 yards out. It was one from afar. As Burnley attack quickly in the final third, ball in to the box. It's not been dealt with that well by Dawson. Can Semedo avoid the corner? He can't. He's been pressured from behind there by Tresor and couldn't deal with the Dawson clearance, and it'll be a corner on the near side for Burnley. As Vincent Kompany is giving some instructions to Yamar Ekdal on the touchline. As they've only made the 2 changes, Burnley, tonight, and they both came out wide. Koleosho coming off with 10 minutes of the first half to play through her little injury. And Tresor's recently just come on for Brune Larsen. As here is the Burnley substitute over the corner. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. It's a deeper one this time. It's gone all the way through where it's had to be cleared by Kilman. But it'll drop to the halfway line to Trafford. He will recycle the ball forward again. Diagonal ball out to the left. Into the box it goes. Header away by Kilman. Drops to the edge to Brownhill. Goes out to the right here to Vitinho. Midway side the Wolves half. Goes down the line to Berger. He's got space here. On the right side. He's now met by Totti Gomez. He's going to try and run at Gomez here. And clear and deflects the cross off him. And that'll be a corner again for Burnley on the opposite side. Still well within this game. Vincent Kompany's men. A draw is definitely on the cards for them. Wolves haven't quite created enough huge opportunities. And you've got to remember, Manchester City and Spurs have come here and been defeated as well, so it's no embarrassing feat as the corner towards the near post, away by Semedo, drops to the edge of the box towards Vitinho, who let fly, and it went over the bar, but not by much. Really hit that one. Vitinho, good header at the near post by Semedo, but no one was marking Vitinho on the edge. Touch and shot and aiming towards the top right corner. It's just not that far away. Bentley kind of let it go over, but I don't think he knew that was as close as it was. As we're going to get a Wolves substitution here. And it's going to be the first of the game. And it's going to be Pablo Sarabia to be replaced by number 27, Jean Rickner Bellegarde, who joined from Strasbourg in the summer. Started the game against Arsenal, but dropped to the bench for tonight as Lamina and Gomez returned from their yellow card suspensions. Did get the goal in their away defeat to Sheffield United, Bellegarde, as he made well over 120 appearances in Ligue 1. Age of 25, he'll be put into that midfield to pack that midfield out a little bit more, as it will be Wolves to go to a more of a 3-5-2 with João Gomez, Lamina and Bellegarde in the midfield three with the wing backs as well. Amdouni forward, nice ball in between the lines here for Brownhill, back into Amdouni, away from Kilman, brought down by the captain, and that'll be a free kick for Burnley, and another booking handed out, this time to the Wolves captain Kilman. Good 1-2 there from Brownhill. Good pass from Amdouni to find Brownhill in the space in between the lines, and he's running at Kilman. He just got the ball around the number 23, and Kilman couldn't adjust his body to tackle the ball. Instead, tackled the man down and given away a Burnley free kick here. A free kick for Burnley. Goodmanson and Tresor are stood over it, as Arsenal lead 2-1 at Luton. Ten minutes to go. Burnley have a free kick. Is it far enough? Is it too far for a shot? I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know the distance again. Let's see. It's just on the left side of the box. It's a bit far. 28 yards out. Tresor will go for the shot. It deflects off the Wolves' wall, and that'll be a corner again for Burnley. They're starting to ramp up the number of corners they're winning. Mike Tresor with that one. Headed away over the bar by Mateus Cunha for Wolves. And that'll be Tresor to commentate this corner kick on the near side. Be a right-footed in-swinger, so it'll be curling in towards the goal. It won't be because it goes short to Goodmanson, who returns it to Tresor. Pass backwards to Vitinho. Across to the right here. And back out to the left to Goodmanson. Brings it down nicely. Back inside to Tresor, who will put the ball in. It goes through and off the leg of Dawson. Helped away by Bueno. Hwang Hee-chan loses out. Too weak there, the South Korean. Ball inside by Goodmanson to Amdouni. Ball goes in the box. Again dealt with by Dawson. Loops towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed away by Hugo Bueno. He will get onto his own header and try and get away from Charlie Taylor. He can't do so. Ball back with Burnley on halfway with Goodmanson. All Wolves players currently behind the ball, as we've got Dara O'Shea on it. Still on halfway here line here for Burnley. Yamal Ekdal, the centre-half, making his first start in the Premier League tonight. After returning from injury, that's kept him out for the majority of this start of the season. Vitinho at right back, gets the cross in towards the edge of the 6-yard box at the near post. Cut out by Dawson. It'll be a throw in the final third for Burnley. They're definitely giving it a go here. Vincent Kompany's side. Back with Vitinho in a right wing position. Gets another cross in towards the near post. This time goes all the way through to Daniel Bentley. Can't quite find Jay Rodriguez, who was making the run, but couldn't quite get there in time. I think this will definitely be a game if Burnley are defeated where Vincent Kompany looks back and kind of just thinks, what if? It's a bit of a what if game, because it could have easily gone their way. For me, this is just a very 0-0 game, and the goal given away before half-time was just an individual mistake. Sander Berge running back towards his own goal, overhitting a touch, giving the possession to Wolves, and the place he gave it away, they're already in the final third. That's why you can't be giving the ball away in the Premier League. If you give it away in the final third, most teams score. Like 4 minutes before the goal, in the 38th minute, Wolves gave it away in the final third. Burnley got in the box and had 2 shots saved. Those shots they've got to hit the back of the net. Well, you don't get 3 points in this league. You've got to be so clinical. And Burnley aren't that at the minute, especially not tonight. They were at the weekend with the 5 goals, but not tonight. Like I say, a third of their goals came on Saturday. They've got 15 goals this season in the league. 5 of them at the weekend. Amdouni just inside his own half for Burnley. Out to the right it goes here. Vitinho certainly staying more forward, the right back for Burnley, as the ball goes across to the left here to Taylor. He'll keep it in on the near side. Ball to Berger, midway inside the Wolves half. He's got Taylor out to his left. He'll play it to the full-back. Ball forward and inside to Tressor. Out to the left looking for Goodmanson. He'll drop to him despite a deflection. Goes back to Taylor. Crosses first time off the head of Kilman. Drops towards Sander Berger. Loses out to Mateus Cunha. And the Brazilian striker is just pulled down there by the Norwegian midfielder. And that'll be a free kick on the edge of the box for Wolves. Given by Jared Gillett. Just under 6 minutes to play. He dropped to Berger there and just couldn't quite take it under control. Allowed Cunha to nip in front of him and get his body between man and ball and be brought down by Berger. Bentley. Ball out to the right. It can't be headed on by Bellegarde. Header won by Berger, but eventually drops to Bellegarde as the touch from Tressor was poor. But the pass from Bellegarde was just behind Semedo. Goes out for a throw on the near side, midway inside the Burnley half, as we remain at 1-0 here at Molineux. It'd be a fantastic point for Burnley if they can get one, but they need to score before we finish up here. There's Trafford's ball back out to the left back area. He's misplaced. I think he was just under a little bit of pressure there from Cunha, who was closing him down, the Wolves striker. And he zips the ball out of play. Not good enough there from James Trafford. Obviously, a big jump for him, spending the last 2 seasons on loan in League One with Accrington, Stanley and Bolton. Kilman back into his own half with a ball to Dawson. Across to the left here to Totti Gomez. Back out to Craig Dawson on the edge of his 18-yard box. He's got Kilman to his right. He plays it to him, who sends a ball first time around the corner with his left foot. Can't quite find Hwang Hee-chan. Headed away by O'Shea. Always finds João Gomez into the path of Bellegarde. Running towards goal here. Slowing the game down. Playing out to the right to Semedo. Inside to João Gomez. Midway inside the Burnley half. He goes back to halfway line with Kilman. Sees a switch out to the left towards Bueno, who brings it down and keeps it away from Vitinho as he was tackled eventually by the Burnley right back, and it'll be a throw-in for the home side in the final third area, as the game is going to be stopped here as we're going to get a substitution. Mateus Cunha, the assist maker for the only goal of the game, set up Hwang Hee-chan for his 8th of the season in the league. Signed on a permanent deal for £44 million in the summer, making his loan spell a permanent one. Becoming a fan favourite, Mateus Cunha definitely puts the work in for Gary O'Neill. And he'll be replaced by midfielder Boubacar Traoré. Signed on loan from Metz on a permanent after spending last season on loan at Wolves. Started 3 games so far this season. Boubacar Traoré, one of them at the weekend against Arsenal. When he comes on to shore up that midfield even more for Wolves, as they've now got 4 central midfielders on the pitch, with just the one recognised striker with Hwang Hee-chan. Kilman. High ball down the Wolves' right. It'll be something Bellegarde can chase, headed away by Taylor, but will drop to Bellegarde. Gets away from Tressor, inside on Taylor, met by a challenge of Ekdal, but a ball rolls over to João Gomez, as Wolves keep it really well. It's now Kilman. 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Goes backwards and to his left to João Gomez. It's now Totti Gomez. One Gomez to another. Dawson. Low ball. Forward. Great pass in between the lines again. Bellegarde for Wolves. Towards the left side. Plays it to Traoré. Does he work a shot? He's on the edge of the 18-yard box now. Just plays it back to João Gomez. And out to the right to Kilman. Getting forward from centre half here. The Wolves captain. Onto his left foot. In it goes. Headed down by O'Shea. Only as far as Bellegarde, who's working space for a shot. Onto his right foot. Crosses off the head of Ekdal. And then cleared by the left boot of Goodmanson. And it'll drop to Dawson, who nods it back out wide left towards Bueno. Keeps it away from Goodmanson. And then back to Dawson on halfway. And Wolves are slowly killing the time on this game. 2 minutes to play. Burnley have not had the ball for quite a while. And this is what Wolves need to do to pick up their first win in 8 games against Burnley. As Ekdal heads away only as far as Bellegarde in the centre circle. He's now left it for Lamina, who drives into the Burnley half. He's got Bueno out to his left, and he'll play it to the wing-back, who's in the final third. 1-1 with Vitinho, shows too much of the ball to the Brazilian. Slide tackles him strongly. And the ball eventually drops here to Bellegarde, as Bueno has stayed down here. And Totti Gomez kicks it out of play. And he's holding the back of his left leg. Hugo Bueno was actually a bit of cramp for the Spanish wing-back. He was tackled strongly there by Vitinho, who got the ball. Yeah, nothing really in that. Just a bit of cramp there for Hugo Bueno, which is surprising. He's only making his third start. His first one came in August against Everton, then had to wait until December against Arsenal to get his second start. Now back-to-back starts for Hugo Bueno, who's really struggling, it seems, with cramping that left leg, as they try to see this game out against Burnley, and it's not been a bad performance from Company's men. This is the most 0-0 game I think I've ever watched, but just one mistake from Sander Berge before half-time, losing it in the defensive third for Burnley, gave too much of a good chance to Wolves to spoon, and Hwang Hee-chan could find the bottom left corner, and this will move Wolves up one place to 12th in the table. As Wolves are going to make another change. It looks like Hugo Bueno won't see out the remaining minutes of this game, which will be now the additional time, and it will be replaced here by Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty. Obviously left the club for Tottenham. Matt Doherty. In 2020, then had a spell in Madrid with Atletico Madrid, where he only made 2 appearances off the bench for Diego Simeone's men before joining back to Wolves on a free. This will be his 313th appearance for the team if he comes on. Bueno's come down again. He's really struggling with that cramp. As Matt Doherty does enter the field, the 31-year-old Irishman, who won League One title with Wolves in 2014, then the Championship in 2018. He's a liked figure around these parts, as we've had 3 minutes of added on time. We've nearly played a minute of it, so we'll probably play till 94. As we're still waiting now for double changes for Burnley. It's like they're wasting their own time here. No, I'm joking. Jamal Ekdal, who made his first start of the season in the Premier League, centre-half, coming in for Jordan Bayer, who is out with a yellow card suspension. He'll be replaced by winger Nathan Redmond. So that's, as you can tell, a very attacking change for Company, but it's got very little to lose as we're in additional time now. And there was a second change that was being lined up, and it'll be Burnley's number 22, Vitinho, the right back. He's been one of the better players for Burnley tonight. Quite enjoyed watching him at right back. Good getting forward. He'll be replaced by Wilson Odobert, French right winger, joined for €11 million from Troyes in the summer, once of PSG, from 2017 to 2022. As Vincent Kompany isn't happy with something the fourth officials told him. I think it's the fact they've just found out 3 minutes have been added on. We've played 2 minutes of it, but we've literally only just got underway from when the additional time was given. So we'll probably play until about 95. And we're currently in the 92nd minute. It's Burnley on halfway with Dar O'Shea. Lift the ball down the right, looking for Odobert. Can't get their head of Totti Gomez, but the Wolves defender can only clear for a throw-in for Burnley in the final third on the far side. So they're well up the field here, the away team. Throw-in goes back towards Odobert, but it's misplaced from Nathan Redmond. And that'll be a throw-in for Wolves this time. Poor from Nathan Redmond off the bench, 29-year-old. 8 Premier League appearances this season, all of them off the bench, yet to start for Burnley and Vincent Kompany. Joined on a free from Besiktas in the summer. Thrown down the line, header won by Dar O'Shea, volleyed though by Doherty into the Burnley half, where Bellegarde will chase it, but he can't get there ahead of Sander Berge, who will keep it away from Bellegarde. And it'll be Taylor midway inside his own half here for Burnley. Will he launch it? We played the 3 minutes of added on time, but we'll still play a couple more than that due to stoppages within additional time. O'Shea, ball down the right-hand side. Redmond will give chase. Totti Gomez will get there first. Lays it off to Lamina in the 18-yard box, who clears first time. Wayward clearance. Out for a throw-in for Burnley. Taken quickly to Sander Berge by O'Shea. on the edge of the centre circle here, Sander Berge. Looks out to the right side. He curls it out to Odebert. 1-on-1 with Doherty. Gets a low cross, deflects off Lamina, and it's a corner for Burnley. And those travelling supporters are just in the corner of that stand behind the goal on the far side. James Trafford's gone up for it. And altogether, it'll be a 4-hour round trip for Burnley tonight. And how they would love to go home with a point in the last minute. Goodmanson, in it goes, headed on by O'Shea, missed, needs to be cleared, and it is by Hwang Hee-chan. And it'll be retreated here by Odebert, the substitute French winger, who goes to his left here to Redmond, who will drive forward. It's on halfway line now with Brownhill. They need to get it back forward here, Burnley. Brownhill down the right channel. It's over the top of Doherty, who will get there and has to clear away from Goodmanson. Throwing right next to the corner flag for Burnley. And it's Dara O'Shea who will launch it into the box here with the throw. 30 seconds left. Throw in to Redmond. Back to O'Shea. Crosses in towards Jay Rodriguez. Flicked on towards Charlie Taylor, whose shot flies over the crossbar. But as Jay Rodriguez flicked the header on, there was a foul within the header win. As I think he just shoved the Wolves man to the ground to win the header. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because the Charlie Taylor shot was well over the crossbar. And it does look like Wolves have seen this one out. It's been a difficult one for them. It's not been too easy. Burnley have made life difficult for them. But as we go into the 6th minute of additional time, it does look like Wolves are going to collect the 3 points. Bentley with the free kick taken, and that will be that. Jared Gillett blows the whistle. Gary O'Neill shakes the hands of Vincent Kompany and Craig Bellamy, and it's another game with another defeat for the away side. It's 12 defeats now in 15 in the Premier League for Burnley. It's a 5th win for Wolves. They've now won a 1/3 of their Premier League games, and it puts them up to 12th in a season where they felt hard done by on many of occasions. They probably feel they could be higher than 12th, but under Gary O'Neill, there's a philosophy, there's a way of playing. It's patient. They create high-quality chances, which gives them more chances to score goals. And that's what they've done tonight. They've not had many big chances, but the chances they created were dangerous ones. And one was taken before half-time in the 42nd minute. The South Korean, Hwang Hee-chan, who's having the season of his life at the minute at Wolves. He got his 8th goal of the season. He's got 2 in his last 5. His previous one coming away at Fulham. And it all came from a Sander Berge mistake. The Burnley midfielder dribbling back towards his own 18-yard box, overhit a touch and gave the ball to Wolves, who then got it inside the box to Cunha, went once more onto his right to Hwang Hee-chan, who had the shot into the bottom left corner beyond James Trafford. And for Burnley, they had chances, they had plenty of shots on goal. They accumulated 12 shots in the end, just 3 on target, which kind of tells you the story for Burnley. They were getting shots away, but a lot of them were from outside the box. A lot of them well over the crossbar. Probably shooting practice needed tomorrow in training from Vincent Kompany. And it just seemed that Burnley, every time they won the ball, they won the ball quite deep. They won it on halfway inside their own half, which meant it was hard for them to get the ball forward into those dangerous areas to have meaningful shots. The one thing Wolves did, even though they only had 7 shots and they had 4 on target, more than Burnley, is they won the ball in the Burnley half, so the chances were already there for them. You know, they won the ball forward, and they could create chances and get shots away in the 18-yard box, which Burnley struggled with tonight. I'd be interested to know how many shots Burnley took outside the box, from the 12 they had. I just think Wolves, in an attacking sense, just, took the game on better. Understood that, they're probably not going to score with shots from outside the box. If they win it high, they're going to get chances inside the box where they're more likely to score. So I think it's just better. I think it's just more clever from Wolves the way they've gone about tonight, being able to, not have as many shots, but win the ball in high areas, getting shots away in the 18-yard box. And unfortunately for Burnley, despite all their attempts, they just couldn't quite find one into the Wolves net to get beyond Daniel Bentley, who has kept a clean sheet tonight. for Wolves, as the Luton game against Arsenal is currently 2-2, and I will switch over to that because I'm going to watch that once I go off stream. So not a great result for Burnley if Luton gain another point. That would leave Burnley 3 points behind Luton, and Luton are currently the team just outside the relegation zone on 17th place. But thanks to everyone who has been here tonight. Like and subscribe before you go. That would be very much appreciated. We had a healthy amount of numbers in throughout the whole stream, which is really appreciated. So thank you to everyone who was around for the stream tonight. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I hope it was a good listen for you all. Great commentary again, cheers mate. Thank you very much. But that does see the end tonight of today's stream. Make sure you come back tomorrow, 8:15, Aston Villa taking on Manchester City at Villa Park. Then on Thursday, I think at 7:30, we have Everton against Newcastle. And then on Sunday, we're covering Newcastle once again, but they're away from home again against Tottenham on Sunday evening at 4:30. So 3 more commentaries coming up this week. We've got another 4 the week after. So this December period is just commentaries left, right and centre. So make sure you keep checking the channel out. Notifications on so you know when the commentaries are coming up and you know which games I'm going to be covering, and you can choose which ones you're going to be interested in. If you want to listen to all of them, that would really help me out. And you can do that if you would like. But for tonight, that will be the end of the commentary. As I say, make sure you check out the rest of this week's commentaries. But for tonight, we saw Wolves at home at Molineux take on a Burnley side who picked up their second win of the season at the weekend, their first at home. They were back on the road, away at Wolves, and it was a game which they probably could have seen a chance of taking points. The one goal came from a mistake, 42nd minute, Hwang Hee-chan with the attempt in the 42nd minute, bottom left corner, capitalising on a Burnley mistake, losing the ball once again in their defensive third. They tried, they couldn't quite, in the end, muster a goal, and it meant that Wolves could see the game out and see the 3 points. 18 now for Wolves. They've got 5 wins from their first 15 Premier League games. And tonight, from Molineux, it ends Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Burnley 0.